the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. Jet, we Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. One eye open like Betty Wops and fine to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like them other guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairing on it, flaring on it.
DQ, baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids. D-Phase. Yeah. Bubba C. Yeah. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flairing, son up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's backpack, capital one. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man, A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at. No cap if the Brody is speaking the soft facts. My advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, on, everybody? It's your boy Scotty. You already know what it is. Happy Monday out there for all you Bammers out there watching this show currently. Probably at your job, working from home, got me on the TV or something like that. Just trying to get through your day. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I can be some assistance. You know what I'm saying? But teach his own. You already know what it is. You see the title. You on the clock? I see, man. I be doing stuff at the last minute. I should have had like the dun 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 tick 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 tick, like a little sound effect. You know I stay with the sound effects. But I be doing like black people stuff at black people. That's why the thumbnail say 1:30 and your boy on here at 2:00. I be last minute. Listen, man. It's a really bad habit. I'm just telling you, it's a really bad habit. I just like to do stuff at the last minute. That's just what it is for me, right?
You are the only participant in the conference. All participants are muted.
So, I ain't got no mouse gear. You know me. I'm a troller by nature. I would have came on here with nothing but golden bear everything. You know what I'm saying? What is a golden bear, by the way? But I would have been rocking it. So I ain't got no mouse gear. So, but it is what it is, right? So let me be clear before I get into today's show. Tonight, you already know what it is. Outspoken me, your boy, Pay Waits. I feel like Denzel Washington. Somebody gotta show up in a certain type of shirt. I want to see if he's gonna show up. I want to see if he really gonna show up with that shirt on. Perry's an integral guy. He's very integral. So I believe he'll do it, but that's going to be funny to watch, right? So you see the title. You're on the clock. Eric Dooley, and Eddie Robinson Jr. Now, the funny thing about both of these guys, right, is they both started at the same time. Yeah, they're both on their second years, right? They're both on their second years. I'll say this. I think one seat is hotter than the other, right? I do think one seat is hotter than the other. I do think people from Alabama State aren't as fanatical as Bamas from Southern are. Because Bama from Southern, I mean, you could compare them with any of the top level NFL franchises that are fanatical, right? So you could talk like the Commanders. You know how they be firing coaches. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put them in the Cowboys range because I wouldn't do that. I think I'll leave that for Pajot State. I think Pajot State has that delusion as my favorite fan base. The Cowboys do, but I think just off the sheer like expectations of a certain program, you have to put Southern up there. If Southern, I just want to be very clear, if Southern had the money of Texas A&M, shit, they be going through coaches every other 2 years. If you not winning, they going pack your bags, my boy, you gone. You know what I'm saying? You about to lose your job. Get this thing. You about to lose your job. Get this thing. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. That's all they would do at Southern. That's all they would literally do at Southern. They would just fire you. They'll fire you every day. Every what? We not in the SWAC championship? Fired. You know what I'm saying? What? You can't. We not in the Celebration Bowl? Fired. You know what I'm saying? So you just be fired. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even have no job. I wouldn't even want that job if I'm like, you out of there. You just buy out, you out of there. Buy out, you out of there. That would be Southern. It'd be an open door of just coaches coming in and out. You know what I'm saying? Alabama State, they real. From what I've been told, they like Omega Central over there. Like, it's like Omega everything. So if you're not an Omega, you probably can't even walk in the door and get an interview for a coaching job. You know what I'm saying? That's just probably what it is. But, they're more Jaguar-ish. You know what I'm saying? They're more like the Jaguars and the Cleveland Browns. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll give you chance after chance after chance. I know he's going to get it together. We believe in him. Yes. They're like the Dolphins, you know what I'm saying? Just like, we're there, but we're not there. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I would compare. That's why, to me, they're both on the clock, but one has a lot more time than the other. You get what I'm saying? One has a lot more time than the other, Right, let me get to this. I'm gonna get to this caller because somebody calling real early. Hey, caller, you live.
How you doing, Scotty?
What's up? Turn your back.
Williams.
Turn your background down for me.
Okay, it's down.
All right, go ahead.
This is Christopher Williams, Southern University Junior. Man, I feel like the only reason why Dooley is the hire is because Odom's left.
Well, I mean, how else he gonna get hired if another coach don't leave? Come on, Christopher Williams Jr. at Southern University. Come on, man. You gotta be better than that, man. You gotta hit me with something better than that. Because Odom's left. Yeah, you gotta get a new coach if somebody leaves.
Okay, another question. I'm sorry, man. This is my first time on the show, bro. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So with the Harold Blood situation, do you see any improvement in his game?
You know what? It's funny you brought that up. I actually have a film breakdown on Tuesday, but I'll give you this. He doesn't go through his progressions very well. He doesn't do that very well. So but I have a film breakdown on that tomorrow. It won't be live. I'm just dropping the video, get it in, get it out, whatever. But I do think there is some talent there. I just think that one, he doesn't work through his progressions very well. And then on the back half of it is I don't think Dooley is helping him by the plays that he's calling. Both are
We need
true.
a new OC. We need a new OC, Scotty. We just do. Dooley should not be calling the plays. He should just focus on coaching.
I agree. I do. I think that would extend his career at Southern if he did that, because then he would have somebody to blame, right? When you're the sole, hey, appreciate the phone call, man. Call back anytime, Christopher. When you're the sole focus of the offense you're supposed to have for this team, the buck is going to stop with you. The buck is going to stop with you. Now, I will say this, right? If I was Dooley, which I'm not because I'm way smarter, okay? I would hire that white Bama who was there with Jason Rollins. I like him, right? I do think there is some tweaks in his offense. He can get a little pass happy when unnecessary, but I would go get that white Bama and bring him back to Southern and have him be my OC. He's mature enough. He's done it enough, right? And then if things don't go well the next year, you can lay it at the white boy feet, right? So that might give you another year. But see, now the thing goes into this. Now that people are already seeing the flaws in you being the OC and the head coach, you bring in an OC, right? You bring in an OC and he doesn't succeed, you're still going to be gone because you brought him in. You didn't do it in the beginning so that you could pass off the responsibility and say, hey, you know, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? It's your job. You run it. I'm going to just, tweak it. I'm going to oversee it, blah, blah, blah. But to me, and we're going to get to the show, but I'm just going to tell you what it is. It is what it is for me. All right. And I'm going to say this. And Kevin, I somewhat agree with you, but I'm going to feel like this, man. If I want to be very clear. And this goes to Maynard, this goes to Dooley, and it goes to whoever out there. The head coaches, Zach Grossi, thank you so much, Roderick. You the GOAT, Roderick. Thank you so much. Zach Grossi, I would go get that Bama. Let me go back to this point with Kevin. It goes to Dooley and Maynard especially. And even McKinley, because these guys make over $300,000. This is what I would do, right? Because I need y'all to understand. What I've come to realize, winning is the name of the game, right? Listen to me. Trey Oliver, if he decides to go anywhere in black college football, he is the golden boy because he's won a Celebration Bowl, right? So he can ask for whatever he wants from any other school in the HBCU that come get him or whatever. If he, like, let's say Willie Lee's and FAMU wants him, he comes to FAMU, he can ask for $400,000. Now, if they pay it or no, that's up to them, but he can ask for that, right? The thing for me is this. Why take so much money and then pay your pay your coordinator scraps, right? Because now you're losing the pool of coordinators that you could hire from to make your program that much better, right? When you're paying your coordinator $60,000 and $70,000, but you're making $300K, Connell Maynor, and you're paying coordinators scraps, that is idiotic to me. It's idiotic. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me where your head coach is making and listen, I'm not saying that, oh, Scotty and PWIs, yeah, the head coach is making $10 million. The coordinators are making $1 million. I'm good with $1 million. I'm good with $300K. If you making $5 million, I'm good with that. I'll call plays for $300K. What I'm saying is the disparity. It's $300K, and my man office, my OC gonna be making $70,000. No, take that $100K less, give it to your coordinators to go find you some damn good coordinators, and go do your thing, and go win some games. Right? It just like to me, and I'm gonna say this, and before I move on, it just feels like these head coaches is just like. The HBCU world in the football community is so small that if you make $300K for 3 years, you get fired and go get another HBCU job. It's just like it's like you're good. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it. It is what it is. To each his own, man. Because if we're being honest, look at Damon Wilson and what I talked to Coach Wilson and I asked him. I said, "Yo, how were you able to do that at Bowie State?" He said, "Scotty, I only had one full-time coach, and that was my D coordinator. That's all he could afford. That's all he could afford was one defensive coordinator, paid staff member, right? So now you see him in Morgan, and he has the resources to do more with less, even with technically more than he had at the last station. You get what I'm saying? So, man, you guys are calling early. What's up, Kevin? Coming to you.
What's going on, Scotty? Can you hear me, bro?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Talk to me.
Man, look, I missed your show Saturday after the game, but I went back and listened to it, man. And the thing with Dooley, bro, first of all, he's stubborn as a damn ox. And he doesn't have any imagination as far as offensive play calling. So when you look at it, we were talking about it. If you look at Fam and you look at Willie with his motions and his shifts, even if it's just for eye candy to make you think he's going to do something, you have to adjust to it,
Kevin, Kevin, so, let me tell you, I'm so glad. Sir. I'm so glad you brought that up. I was just watching the film from the South Florida game. It was a counter pull play action that FAMU did. It was going left. The DN crashed so hard that he tackled the running back in the backfield. Musa pulled it and threw it to the tight end, wide open for 20 yards. You are so right. Go ahead. You are on it on that one. You are so on it.
Yeah, man. And, like I said, bro, it's just like, dude, it's almost like saying, like, Scotty, you line up right, you go do this, you go do that. He doesn't put the quarterback in any type of situation to be successful, like you said. And my last thing, Scotty, and I'm going to listen to the rest of the show, but what is he going to sell these boys? Because once you lose the players, what is he going to sell them? Hey, those first 2 games didn't count, but in the mind of the Jaguar Nation, yeah, hell yeah, they count. You're supposed to win them, but we still 0-0 in the SWAC. So is that what he's going to sell to the players?
Well, in his post-game press conference, he said they have everything in front of them, and technically they do.
Right.
Because if you look at it,
exactly.
Think about it like South Carolina State that year. They went 5-6 and went to the Celebration Bowl. They had all those out-of-conference losses, but when they got in conference, they went undefeated. So there is still a possibility that he could run the table. Now, do I see that coming? No, I do not see that coming because you got FAMU.
I do not see it at all, Scotty, either, brother. So
yeah,
anyway, man, love the show, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to tune in tonight, my man.
I appreciate it, man. Listen, I don't see that coming because I don't see Southern beating. Listen, that Bayou Classic, unless Miles Crawley is in a wheelchair, that game is over. Let me be very clear. That Bayou Classic, I don't give a damn. You talk about, it's going to be a rivalry. I do not care. That game is over. Unless Miles Crawley is rolling to that game in a wheelchair, that game is over. You don't have a chance in hell to win because you can't score. Unless Dooley gets this offense back on track to even get to be more consistent to put up 21 to 28 points or whatever, right? You don't have a chance. Not a chance in hell. So I don't see it going well for Southern. But I will say this. In all honesty, the SWAC West is ass. Let's just call a spade a spade. It is Grambling and it's everybody else. And that is, listen, let me give you the breakdown like this, right? I want to listen, this is how I want to look at it for you. If you've ever played Madden, you know about the overalls. And matter of fact, I might even make like a little like clips or whatever. But if you play Madden, you know the overalls and how that works. Let me give you each team's overall, right? Grambling is like a 91 in offense. They're like a 69 in defense. Gives them like a C, maybe like a B plus overall, right? That's their average, right? Alcorn offensively is like a 65 or 70. I'll give them a C, right? I'll give them a 70. Defensively, I'll give them an 85, right? 85, 90. So you see where I'm going with this? You see what I'm going with this? This is what you're dealing with in the SWAC West. PV offensively is like an 80. Defensively is like a 65, right? 65, 70. You know what I'm saying? So you get what you get. UAPB defensively is like a 75. Offensively is like a 70. You get what I'm saying? Like that is what you have. Grambling is the best offensive team in the SWAC, and it's not even close. But FAMU is the most balanced team. I want to be very clear, right? So if I was getting FAMU overall rating, their offense would probably be like 88. The defense would probably be like a 92, 91. You get what I'm saying? Like so they're still the best team in the game. They just don't have the best offense. You get what I'm saying? So it's one of those type of situations. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it just doesn't make a lot of sense of what the SWAC West is really bringing, and it's going to be a crapshoot over there. But to me, what defense can you trust outside of Alcorn? What defense can you trust outside of Alcorn? Right? Okay, I can't trust PV. That jank is the basic. PV is the most epitome of the basic ass defense you'll ever watch. Like they are, cover 3. Quarters. That's all I mean. It's really nothing simple. It's nothing exotic about PV, right? UAPB, great defense, pretty solid defense. You know what I'm saying? So, but they can't really score points like that. The running back's a monster. It's just so many things over there. So that's my thing. So once again, Southern Bayou Classic. Unless Dooley gets this thing back on track, that game is over today. All right, let's get into the show. Right now, I want to be very clear because I remember a time, because I'm going to have to start calling him the real estate agent. I'm just going to have to go back to it. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I gave him Coach E-Rob after the whole Dion situation. I was like, yo, Coach E-Rob. I even met him. I was like, yo, that was fire what you did with Dion. Like, that's respect. Like, you know, that's some real, you know what I'm saying? Some real ninja type stuff. So, but now watching him coach and watching this thing go the way it's going, you're going to have to go back to the real estate agent. Gonna have to go back to the real estate agent. I'm gonna need to get my house refinanced. I'm gonna have to go out there. You have to go back to some open houses, my boy, because listen, the flaw, I want Alabama State fans to understand, and to all the diehard Alabama State fans, the ones that be like, oh, we're rocking with Eddie Rob, even, you really need to reevaluate what you're looking at, because if you're going off the Scotty, we went 6-5 last year. That was, if I'm being honest, that was actually a horrible coaching job. Now you can say whatever you want because you'll be happy. Oh, Scotty, we won the Magic City Classic. Oh, Scotty, we did this. If you take the talent that was on that team and compare it to where you should have been to where you got, he's not a good coach. I do not listen. You can say whatever you want, Alabama State fans. Oh, Scotty, we hadn't been 6-5. We hadn't had a winning record. The talent on that team was immense. Listen, I'm going to break it down to you like this, right? Because a lot of Alabama State fans, they're going to get on the, oh, Scotty, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, because I told y'all, you probably had the second and third best wide receiver core in the SWAC. In the SWAC. Last year, not this year, last year. So let me help you understand it. I really want to help you understand what I'm saying. I want you guys to understand what you don't have, right? Now, be very mindful of what I'm about to say. Ja'Cory Merritt. Listen, I'm breaking this shit all the way down today because I'm telling y'all, you don't know what you're talking about. You're all here. I hear Alabama State fans talking about, oh, Eddie Robb, the best thing since sliced bread. No, the hell he is not. He does not know how to evaluate talent, right? You have Ja'Cory Merritt. He just dogged out Tennessee Tech and had over 50 yards of rushing on 14 carries against Texas A&M. He is the starting running back at New Mexico. Now, New Mexico ain't a world beater, but gosh darn it, from an FCS to an FBS and you're the starting running back, okay, crazy. Miles just did his thing at LSU, threw for over 300 yards at Hampton, right? Dog. Hickson, now currently at New Mexico, is the starting receiver at New Mexico Lobos. So you're telling me, I just want to be very clear. I need you guys to understand the talent that you had on your team last year. All the talent. Offensively and defensively. You're probably, in my personal opinion, you are more loaded than FAMU was last year. I just want to be, listen, you can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. You were more talented than FAMU last year. You were the second best team in the SWAC East, point blank, period. Now, however you decided to use that is on your coach, but you were talent-wise on paper. So let me tell you what you had last year. You had Jeremiah Hickson. You had Keyshawn Johnson, the same Keyshawn Johnson that's dogging Bama's out right now, right? Ja'Cory Merritt, Santo Dunn, Miles was your backup quarterback. Miles was your backup quarterback. And let's not even talk about the defensive side of the ball. Blue has read and raved about Brandon Gaddy and Nelson and Bubba and Urshad and Adrian Maddox and Victor. You were loaded. You were absolutely loaded last year. And if you don't think, listen, you're smacked. If you think Juwan Howell or the other running back that you have is better than Ja'Cory Merritt, you're absolutely out of your mind, and you're probably on Eddie Robb's coaching staff because you don't know how to evaluate talent. And I'll tell you like this, and I heard this from Hickson's team especially. He did not want to leave Alabama State. He didn't like the way Eddie Robb was treating him at Alabama State. That's the only reason he left Alabama State. He loved Alabama State. That's what his team told me. So I just want to be very clear about what's going on in this situation. So you can say whatever you want. This team, right? This team is nowhere as near as talented as all the players he let walk out the door. So you're bugging. You're absolutely bugging. They're so much better you're losing to a Division II school? That sounds idiotic in itself. That sounds idiotic in itself. You're so good. This team is so much. That's like Jackson telling me they're so much better, and then they go out and lose to Kentucky State, a team they would never have lost to with Deion. That's like Southern telling me they're better with Dooley, and then they go out and lose to UIL, a team they would have never lost to with Odoms. Shut up. Shut up, Major. Shut up. Go sit your ass down somewhere. Shut up. Right? So this is my thing. If you don't know what you're talking about, if you don't understand how talent works and all this evaluation and things like that, I will let you know Eddie Robb does not know what the hell he is doing, because you let Miles Crawley walk out the door. You let Miles Crawley walk out the door down the street to Grambling, and he's their number one quarterback. and your guy can't even throw over for 200 yards against a Division II product. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. And if anybody was a part of bringing Demetrius Davis with that $20,000 NIL, they all need to get their money back. The AD, from what I was told, had no parts in even hiring Eddie Robb. It was an Omega thing. The president, we already know he done effed up with that situation with the Magic City Classic, so that ain't even nothing to talk about. The president is an Omega. The president pledged the real estate agent. So how you think he got the job? How you think he got the job? So now you don't get the job off your credibility because you ain't got none, right? Because you were an Omega, you were selling houses, it's all cool and dandy, right? Oh, you get what I'm saying? Then you come in and you go 6-5. Well, to Alabama State fans, that's the best thing since sliced bread. We won the Magic City Classic and we went 6-5, right? But if you look at the talent on that team, there's no reason that you should have went 6-5. There's no reason, none whatsoever. But that's neither here nor there. But even if, let me just say this, even if, right? Let's say he goes 6-5. The fact of the matter is, the fact that you let Ja'Cory Merritt, Jeremiah Hickson, and Miles Crawley walk out the door. Now, I believe Ershad Davis was going to leave because of he wanted more notoriety at Troy. So I do believe that. But from what I've heard from the Hickson camp is that the reason that a lot of these players left was that they didn't like what was going on behind the scenes. That's what I heard. I'm just telling you what I heard, right? So just imagine, listen, Alabama State fans, before you get all emotional and start telling me what I'm not and what I can't and this and that and the third, I just want you to close your eyes. That's all I want you to do. I want you to close your eyes. Look up to your heavenly Father, and I want you to think about if you had Keyshawn Johnson on one side, Jeremiah Hickson on another side, Juwan Howell and Ja'Cory Merritt, and Miles Crawley is your starting quarterback. Now tell me you don't blow out Southern and you don't blow out the Division II school, because at the end of the day, your defense is always going to be your defense. That's all. As Alabama State has always been known for defense. As long as you got Bubba and Adrian Maddox and them boys back there, you're going to be solid, but they can only do so much. They can only do so much. So before you all want to crown Eddie Robinson as the best thing since sliced bread, I just want you to understand what he let walk out the door and what he has not been able to replace. Because I dare you to name me another receiver other than Keyshawn Johnson. Don't worry, I'll wait. And he's a dog. He's an absolute dog. But don't worry, I'll wait. Don't worry, I'll wait. Major, you're still making my point. Who hired him? Yo, ninjas be smoking crack when it comes to your institution. Who hired him? Don't worry. Maybe your degree will help you understand it. Eddie Robinson. What are we talking about right now? What are we talking about right now? Everything falls back on the head coach. Come on, my guy. Oh, it's not the problem, it's the OC. Who hired him? Who hired him? God, man. Jesus. It doesn't make any sense to me. So let's go even further. Because one thing about me is, once again, listen, I keep receipts. This is what I do. And when I tell people that you should stick to basketball, stick to basketball. This ain't in your lane because you don't know what you're talking about. And the fact of the matter is that your Twitter handle is Lakers fan 1242 lets me also know that you should not be talking about football. If you a fan, be a fan. Just say, hey, as a fan, as a graduate of Alabama State, blase, 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 blah. But to come and tell me what I don't know compared to what you think you know, we're not the same. Because if I recall, at the receipts that I keep, if I recall, somebody also put this on their Twitter.
Oh, don't worry about it. She held him up. As long as I got him, I fear nothing.
He was born in a manger.
No, don't worry about it. She held him up.
Now, that's just what I remember. That's just what I remember. So let's go even further in this. Let's dive a little deeper. Right? Now, this is Demetrius Davis. This is Demetrius Davis. 14 to 23, 151 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 NITs. That's against Miles. That's against Miles College. That's pretty good. If you Alabama State fan, you like, oh, Scotty, I don't see nothing wrong with that. I think that's pretty good. I think that's rather good for Demetrius. You know what I'm saying? Let me give you some perspective. I just want to give you some. Listen, you know me. I just want to give you perspective. Perspective. Okay. You just take your time. You look over that. You review that, and then you come holler at me. I'll give you time. I'll give you time. I'll give you time. I'll give you time. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure we. I just want to make sure we talk about the right things, right? I just want to make sure we talk about the right things. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, right? Because D2 Power 5, D2 Power 5. Now, whatever you want to say about LSU defense, I promise you Demetrius Davis doesn't even throw for 100 yards. I promise. I don't give a damn what you want to call LSU's defense. I don't give a damn if you want to call LSU's defense Swiss cheese. I promise you Demetrius Davis won't throw it. I bet you them interceptions look real high. I bet you that stat line look like Tyler Macon from Alcorn. I bet you that. I bet you Demetrius Davis' stat line look like Tyler Macon going against Stealing Money University. But listen, and listen, I know you watch the show because we talk offline. We talk offline and stuff like that. And I hope you know who I'm addressing. I remember you calling me, said person who is an Alabama State alum, booster. I remember you calling me and telling me, I've seen Miles the whole time at Alabama State. He can't do this. He can't do that. He holds the ball too long. He's not the answer. That's what you said. Now, I want to understand what you're going to say about Demetrius Davis that trumps what Miles could have been at Alabama State. That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. That's all I want. That's all I want to know, because I was hearing it from all sides. From all sides. Y'all let them stars play with your eyes. I want to be very clear. 4-star don't mean shit to me. What you look like on the field. And if you're watching the game, if you're watching film, I'm telling you, this is how I know Alabama State fans don't understand what they're talking about, because they're so fixated on We got a 4-star from Auburn. If you watch the UCLA game, there is no reason why Miles Crawley was not the starter going forward. If you just simply watch the UCLA game that Alabama State went with, there is no way that you go away from Miles Crawley after seeing that performance. And when people say, Scotty, why are you still talking about the backup? Because he would have been at Alabama State. See, that's the issue that you don't understand. I see, alums don't ever want to take accountability for what you could have been or what you could have had because they're not there anymore, Scotty. I'm going to rock with my team regardless. I'll tell you this. You don't think it haunts me as a Cowboys fan that we took Taco Charlton over TJ Watt? It still bothers me. It still bothers me that we took Greg whatever over Randy Moss. It still bothers me that we took Felix Jones over LaShawn McCoy. It bothers me because I think about what we could have been. That is what people don't understand. And when you're a real football fan and you understand the decisions of evaluating talent, those little things push your program back years. Years. Decisions like that push your program back years. It's the same thing if I was a Southern fan. I don't give a damn that we backdoored championship our way into a SWAC championship. The mere fact that we did not play Bubba McDaniels in the SWAC championship, understanding we needed something down the field, and Bashawn McCray hadn't shown us nothing all year, and we still went with them. There's a problem with that. So instead of you being so enamored with your school because it's your school, how about you evaluate it purely based off the sport of football? That does not mean you don't love your institution. That just means you require your institution to make better decisions. Why is it that when you see alums speak out about the sports aspect of their institution that, hey, I don't think this person should be playing, or, hey, I don't think this, they be like, oh, you don't love Alabama State. No, that's the difference. I love Alabama State enough to tell it what it's not doing right. I love my institution enough to let you know that this ain't the right way to go. I love Alcorn enough to tell me Tyler Macon is not the starting quarterback. I know it. But hey, what do I know? And y'all, listen, and that has nothing to do, it has nothing to do with me being on the Miles Crawley bandwagon, okay? It has nothing to do with nothing, right? I'm on the Miles Crawley bandwagon if he does well, if he does bad. I just knew he was the better quarterback, and I'm going to stand on that. I knew he was the better quarterback last year when people kept trying to tell me, oh, it's Demetrius Davis. Oh, do you see? You get so enamored with somebody's feet and don't understand the quarterback position of executing the offense. Now, I just want y'all to understand what Keyshawn Johnson would be if he had a comparable quarterback that wasn't getting direct snaps every other freaking play. Like, come on, man. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me how y'all just. So let me say this. You know what this need to look like? This is what I need to see by the end of the year. That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm going to be honest. It's not easy finding quarterbacks. But you got two. You got two on your roster. They're not Miles Crawley, but they're good. They're better than Demetrius Davis. That's all. That's as simple as that. They're better than Demetrius Davis. And the best thing that can happen to Alabama State is Demetrius Davis jumping in the portal, because it makes Eddie Robinson have to go to somebody else. Because I'm going to tell you this, if Eddie Rob hitches his bandwagon to Demetrius Davis for the season, he needs to be off the clock. Not on the clock. He needs to be off the clock. Because I don't know what it is about Demetrius Davis that makes you not say, you know what, we need a spark, we need a change, and he's not it. One special play does not negate over 60 plays of just not good quarterbacking. I don't get it. A kid that makes one special play. Oh, did you see the spin out? Oh, did you see him run and step over and do all this, and throw this and they score? Okay, that's one play. What about the other 40 plays where he threw it in the dirt? He threw a pick in the red zone. He threw the ball away. He didn't make the right reads. He couldn't see over the line. Like, what about all the other plays that make up the game instead of the one? And that as fans, that's what you get caught up in. You get caught up in the, oh my God, did you see the spectacular play? Oh my God, did you see the 5 jump overs that he did? Oh my God, did you see what he did in the first? Okay, what did he do in the fourth quarter? When the game was on the line, what did he do? It just doesn't make sense to me, man. It just doesn't. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So, listen, moving on, right? Now, listen. It's very simple to me. And I want to be very clear. Let me go back to this. Right? Let me go back to this. I will say this. I'm going to say this. Miles was the better team. Listen, you can say whatever you want. I watched the game, right? I rewatched the game. I watched it this morning. I was like, hey, before I get on here, I just want to make sure I'm watching it and seeing when blah, blah, blah. Miles was the better team. Very simple. Very, very simple. Miles was the better team in all aspects. The better team. So it wasn't even like the and I apologize, Miles, if I misspelled your name. I apologize. I'm on the Miles version of like the metaverse in Spider-Man. Shout out to you, Kamari Stevens. Right? You know what I'm saying? So Miles was the better team. Now, the best player on the field was Keyshawn Johnson. It wasn't even close. Right? Now, I like the safety from Miles. I think his name was like 5 or 8 or something like that. The safety, absolutely amazing. Really great football player. Even the quarterback that Miles had kind of give me like David Garrard vibes. You know what I'm saying? Big boy moving around, sloshing everywhere. Couldn't bring him down. But the best player on the field, and it wasn't even close, is Keyshawn Johnson. I mean, it's just like him and everybody else. But the best team was Miles. Miles was the better team. And that's sad to say that against a Division I opponent. But if you go back and watch that game, there's nothing that Alabama State did that Miles was scared of or they imposed their will. It was nothing like that. Miles D line came to play. Miles DBs came to play. The running backs came to play. Like Miles was not intimidated, and they were just as good or as talented as Alabama State. So if I'm being honest, that game it really wasn't that different, if I'm being honest. And I agree. If I would offer the kid from Miles over Demetrius Davis. The kid is bigger, heavier, and moves just as decent. Not as fast as Demetrius, of course, but he moves pretty well. You know what I'm saying? So that's sad, man. That's sad. That's sad. And that's on Eddie Rob's watch. That's on Quentin Nelson's watch. That's on the Omega watch. Bark at that, dogs. Q City. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Bark at that. Atomic Dog that. So it just is what it is. If I'm listen, now I don't think Keyshawn, if I'm Keyshawn, I'm moving on. All right. I'm moving on. But I'll say this. If I was Keyshawn, I wouldn't be at Alabama. If Demetrius Davis continues to be my quarterback at Alabama State, I'm not staying there. Now, I know Keyshawn Johnson has family on the coaching staff. That's why he's loyal to them. But he got a career to think about, and Demetrius Davis is not that. All right, let's move on. I'm going to move on. Okay. All right, listen. Let's talk about Dooley. and the very short leash that my man is on. And when I say short, that I mean I'm talking midget short. Okay, this leash on Dooley is very short, and the only reason is that short. It wouldn't be as short as he thinks, because and Perry says it all the time. He's like, he's a first year guy. You know, you can't hold him to this, you can't hold him to that. He's a first year guy. I'm like, well, he's not a first year head coach. Eddie Robinson's a first year head coach. So there is some leeway and some bending that you can do for that. Dooley been in this thing for like over 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Like he was underneath Pete Richardson for like 72 years. You know what I'm saying? 72 years. So I'm like, and I'm gonna keep saying it until I get an explanation from J-Max. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. I went back and watched the old Swacking a Fool video announcing it. I was trying to clip it, but I ain't have enough time. You was like, oh, he's coming home. Oh, he was under Pete Richardson. Oh, he can recruit New Orleans. Boy, you was happier. You was happier than a kid in the candy store. Right? Ooh, Dooley's coming home. All because of how he beat you when he was at PV with Jason Rollins. That's why you went with Dooley. Okay. I mean that's what you said, Jay. I'm just telling you what you said. So listen, I don't know how many more suits he can come up with to help you guys score some points, but the mere fact of the matter is this. You didn't make a quarterback switch last year, and everybody and their grandmama could see how bad Bashawn McCray was. Aubrey, you're in the chat, right? Just if you could, for the people, if you can call in Aubrey, I really appreciate it. But if you can't, I understand. Please put in the chat the scouting report on Bashawn McCray. That's all I want to know. Just tell us what y'all as a defense talked about when Bashawn McCray was quarterback and what he could and could not do. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Because if everybody and their mama could see Bashawn McCray couldn't throw the ball a country mile, let alone right in front of him, how could you as the head coach not say, you know what? We need to do something. We need to make a change. And that is what has put you on the short leash. That's the number right there, Aubrey. Right? So, yeah, so that's what really put, if we're being a whole buck about it, that's what really put Dooley in the hot seat on the short leash, was his inability to move away from Bashawn McCray and put in a quarterback that could do more with what you're asking him to do. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I made it, because I do believe, I will say this, I honestly will say this, right? If Dooley moved away from Bashawn mid-season, went with Bubba gets you to the, let's say after the first Jackson game, right? Dooley's like, you know what? I can't do this. I got to go with somebody else. He goes with Bubba. Bubba runs the table, right? Bubba gets into the SWAC championship. They still lose. I don't even think you have. If I'm being a whole buck about it, and Southern fans, you can call in and tell me. I don't think Dooley's in this same hot seat. I really don't believe it. But let me give you the scenario, though, of how he's in the hot seat. You saw the game in Jackson. Couldn't score a point. Goose-egged, right? You ride with Bashawn McCray all season. The Bayou Classic is literally in Gramblin's hand. And Hugh Jackson comes in at halftime and says, you know what? We're not running the ball anymore. And they lose, right? Fast forward into the SWAC championship. Bashawn McCray and Harold Blood put you down 21-0. Listen, I'm just here as a guide. I'm just here as a guide. Remember this, right? Bashawn McCray and Harold Blood And it's funny, Harold Blood did the exact same thing, fumbled on a sack. I'm sorry. Thank you, Teldrin. Put you down 26-0 in the SWAC championship. Bubba comes in and gets you back into the game, but the deficit was so deep that he couldn't bring you out of it. That is why Dooley is on the hot seat. Because why did it take you that much and for that long to make the decision? That is why we're here. That is why this moment is here. Because it's like this, right? If you're dating a guy or gal, right? And they keep treating you wrong, right? They keep treating you wrong. They're cheating, all this type of stuff. And it's like as soon as you come to your realization that they just can't get right, then they're like, oh no, I'ma change. And it's like, Dooley, what you mean? What you mean? No, you had all this time to change. You never decided to change. Oh, the call lines are open, Aubrey. It's whenever you're ready, baby. It's whenever you're ready, Aubrey. The call lines are open. Call lines are always open. All right. So that's just my little 2 cents on this. But, and I hope Aubrey will call in real quick before I get into the other stuff. But word on the street is this, right? This is word on the street. I got some sources, but they ain't 100%, but they damn near 95. Okay, they damn near 95. Word on the street is if he loses on Saturday, it is a done deal. He is gone. That is word on the street. Now, my source told me that's the buyout. $900K is the buyout. They said they got the money ready. Matter of fact, they play A&M, Alabama A&M. If you don't think that's gonna be the game of the week, shit. If you don't think that ain't gonna be the game of the week, I'm gonna be locked in. Okay, I'm gonna be locked up. I'm like, shit, this is for somebody's job. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You good, Aubrey? I got you, man. You know what I'm saying? This is for somebody's job. I'm about to be right there like popcorn and everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm locked in. Okay. Thank you, Teldrin. Right? And before I get to you, Smash, I got listen. You know, we here at Off Script, because a lot of people don't want to give me credit. I be having some insider information. I got the inside material on the potential firing. Right? I got the material on the potential firing. Let me show you. I talked to one of the boosters. He showed me the check. The booster showed me the check. I said, damn, they ready. Okay? That's why the date is blank, because they don't know when it's going to happen. I said, wow. I said, this what we doing? You got the check ready? Because you know they old school. Because old school, you know, them old heads with the brims and the hats, you know, they write checks still. They got checkbooks. So I'm just telling y'all that that's some insider information. You know what I'm saying? Put the Southern Foundation on there. Go home. I said, why you spell it like that? He said, that's how we do it in Baton Rouge and Louisiana. I said, oh, shoot. I said, I didn't even know that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they said. Smash, coming to you.
What up, Scotty?
What's up, man?
Listen, what you saying is nothing short of the truth. Like, it's such. I never rode a Dooley train. That was still first of all. But at the same time, I know our administration. Like, I was in the suites, like at halftime, right? The halftime was over, and just like the vibe in there was just like off. You know what I'm saying? Southern don't like losing. Like, if you know Southern history, they'll get rid of your ass. You know what I'm saying? They'll email that motherfucker to you. You know what I'm saying? Your service is no longer needed at Will School. You know what I'm saying? So like, this is like literally, it doesn't sound shy of the damn truth. And I think the most disappointing thing of it is like it wasn't the players. You know what I'm saying? And then like our destiny is not over. But let's say for instance, if he win this next game and like we miraculously, niggas gonna lose in some kind of way, backdoor our way in the strike championship again. I still think niggas gonna want to take it down. No matter what other success, no matter what, it's just like the if you was in that game, dog, it's like to me, Jackson wasn't that good. They wasn't. They was not good at all. They just did their job. How you said up there on the show, they showed you who they are. And our team, like, bro, it's just like they couldn't get the ball off, bro. They couldn't like make certain stops. And like, let's not talk about the first play of the game. Did you see the first play of the game?
Which one?
What the fumble recovery for the touchdown.
The fumble recovery for the touchdown.
They called it back. They called it back.
Oh, yeah. The tight end, yeah, dropped it. Yeah.
God, you see right there, nigga, fired. Fired. What the first man? Hey, everybody, I know you fucking lying. They called that shit back so fast. We like, yes. So long story short, bro, it's nothing short of what Southern is known for. You know what I'm saying? Dooley, he family, so it shouldn't be no hard feelings if it do happen. You know what I'm saying? Because you understand the institution that you work for. You understand how we rock over there. We don't like losing. We always talk that shit about Southern Jackson State needed Dion and a prayer to beat us. Now they beat us without Dion, probably a prayer. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way, bro. We not gonna lose that game like that. So I'm just calling to tell you, bro, if this shit happen, you might as well get the "you about to lose your job" song cue up already because we see it happening before it happened. I'm going, Scotty.
All right, Smash. Appreciate the call, man. Listen, bro, I'm telling you. I'm just telling you what the insider told me. That's all I'm saying. I'm just telling you what the insider told me of just what the situation was going on, and they had the check ready. He was like, "Hey, Scott, I got the check right here. If you won't believe me," I said, "Hey, you got the check right there." Dang, that's cold blooded. But let me say this. I know we talk a lot about Jackson and they 0-4. Hey, Southern, y'all Bama's got a chance to go 0-5. Listen, I'm gonna bring this up. Listen, if you haven't seen your schedule, at first, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was like, "Oh, Southern got this weak ass schedule." But the way y'all are playing, that schedule is very hard. Now, I'm gonna just keep it a buck with y'all. I wouldn't be so sure that 1-4, 0-5 is not your calling, okay? Because the ministry is tough right now. I want to be very clear. You already lost to Alabama State. You already lost to Jackson. Now, let me be very clear. Alabama A&M defensively is a lot better, okay? They kept Vanderbilt, although it's Vanderbilt, they kept them down to a very modest score for the first 3 quarters of the game, right? So that is a possibility that you can lose that game just based off your offense being as bad as you are, right? UAPB just kept Tennessee State to 17 points. I'm just saying. And we know you don't have a chance in hell to beat FAMU. You would need for Willie Simmons to get a whole new job before he plays at Southern University, and you probably would still lose that game. Listen, y'all be on this rival stuff. Now, I will say this. I had to learn real quick about the whole. So I ain't gonna say what stuff won't happen because the whole really messed up my mind because stuff just be happening down there. But I will say this. There is a high probability that you could go 1-4 really quickly. The FAMU game is like one of those 99-1 type games. You're not winning that. So you're already 2-3. Okay? You're already 0-3 at that point. Right? So now it all depends if you can even make it to 2-3. That's where it comes down to. Can you make it to 2-3? And the Alabama A&M game, that's a push. Let's just keep it a buck. I don't give a damn that Xavier Langford is playing. You got Harold Blood. Okay? You got Dooley calling your plays. So, and listen, Alabama A&M's defense has been better. The only game that I will give you the slight edge in winning is UAPB. 4764 coming to you. Hey, calling you live.
What's up, Scotty?
What's up? Who this?
Hey, this is Andre from Baton Rouge, man.
What's up, Andre? Talk to me.
Hey, this is my first time calling in, so I hope you can hear me pretty good.
Now I can hear you, man. You good?
I hope he go out there and just go out there, take a knee, and just call it a day and go get his check and roll on out. Man, we tired of that, bro.
Oh, man.
He gotta roll. He gotta go, man. He gotta go now. I hope he gets stubborn. Come out there with a stubborn attitude and come out there talking noise and take his check and leave.
That's fair. That's fair. I see. I mean, the thing for me is this, right? I would be okay, and I'm just keeping it a boat with y'all. If Dooley was out here putting up 28 to 30 points a game and the defense couldn't stop nobody, I wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't even be mad because I'd be like, Dooley doing his part. The defense just can't stop nobody. But when the defense out here giving up, 14 points here, 17 points here, 20-something points there, and you can't even get over 14 points, you scored 10 against Alabama State and then 14, that's my problem. You're supposed to be an offensive guru, and your offense sucks.
Yeah, he need to take that down, bro. He ain't no offensive guru.
Take it down. Take that title off the mantle.
Take that out.
Oh, man.
Some shoes and that suit.
Hey, Andre, man, appreciate the call, man. Appreciate you, bro. I'm telling you right now. Listen, Bears, I'm telling you what I've come to realize about Southern fans. Now, remember, they're called the Powerhouse. I might be calling them the Powder House because they playing soft as Charmin. But anyway, Southern, right? Southern doesn't play that. They're not though. Listen, this is not the type of school you come in and you try to patty cake your way through it. They have to, and I'll say this about Southern fans. I got to be honest with Southern. Southern fans are football fans, right? They still do their, pageantry and everything like that, but they're football fans. And when they don't like the product being put on the field, because I will even be honest, I think it would be, I know a lot of Southern fans. I think they would be okay. I know they wouldn't have been happy to lose to Jackson. I know that. Okay. I'm not saying you guys would have, but they would have been okay to have seen a shootout. They would have been okay to see a shootout with Jackson, 35-36, 35-38, and your defense can't make the stops because then they'll know, okay, listen, man, we just got to get better on defense. We got to get somebody in here. You know what I'm saying? Da-da-da-da-da. But when Dooley is not doing what he's supposed to do, which is offensively put up points, you got to go. Then why are you here? That's the point. Why are you here? That's my issue. Smash coming to you. Then Mr. Bugs, I see you. What's up, Smash?
Got it. You hit the nail on the head again. We would have definitely been okay with a damn shootout. And once again, to me, the defense doing what they got to do. I don't care what nobody says. They doing what they got to do. Is when you got fumbles after fumbles and childish penalties. You know what I'm saying? The offense didn't stand a chance from coaching and the mistakes on the field. Me personally, I don't think they got no coordination going on. Like they're not confident in what's going on. Like, you know how to play. You've been a player before, Scott. You know how, like, when a coach calls a play and you know that shit ain't about to work.
Yeah, you roll your eyes. Yeah, you roll your eyes. You be like, man. It'll be the same thing in the band world. If you play a song that you know ain't going to hit, you be like, man, why we playing this, man?
Fly to the motherfucking bumblebee. That's the fuck, goddamn it. That's what it was, Scotty. And it's like, to me, and that's what we had. The team not sad, so like they came out with the right energy. To me, the defense doing their thing. But how much you want the defense to do? You know what I'm saying? If the fucking offense can't, do that thing. So it's not so much of the defense. It's a matter of how are we losing? And once again, this white football. Any fucking thing can happen. You know what I'm saying? Everybody not side to lose or however it go. I want to see some interesting shit happen on the East. Let's say, for instance, man, we lose 2 games and fuck around to somebody who Jackson State with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit can get real. And that's why hope not over is just we trying to stop this shit at the door, and we still got hope on our side. I feel like the same way we possibly do lose to FAMU, but at the same time, FAMU on the other side. So we feel like shit. Let them deal with that over there. Me personally, I do want FAMU to keep winning, but that's another story for another day. But just to, got a little bet going on. But nevertheless, bro, we don't like how the loss happened. It wasn't the defense. It was some bullshit penalties and how this offense is being ran and them damn plays. Oh, so yeah, I'm going, Scott.
All right, no problem. Appreciate it, Smash. Blue, I got the stats. Now, I agree with you. I know there is some games that did not keep stats for Division I programs, but I don't know. I don't think Southern has that problem. I'm looking at their stat sheet right now. So, Mr. Bugs, coming to you.
Scotty, what's up? How you doing, big time?
I'm doing, yes, sir. How about yourself?
Man, doing well, man. Real quick, brother. How long has Dooley been at Southern?
As a head coach, 2 years. As an assistant coach, he was there, I believe, for 15 to 17 years underneath Pete Richardson. So probably a total of 19 years total.
Okay, so he understands the expectation of the fan base.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
So if they're sucking this bad on offense, he should not. If they lose to UAPB on Saturday, I would help out. Would usher them out with the U-Haul truck and everything. We even played Ludacris Roll Out. We even played the song Ludacris Roll Out. you know what I'm saying? Because Southern, I'm hearing the calls coming in. This is a very intelligent fan base. They're not dumb. They're not delusional like Pothole State University. They're not. These are wise fans. They understand football. Here's my other question. Why the hell does HBCUs keep on hiring out of the same coaching pool? Why? When do we bring in outside blood? Like some Ed Reed, or kind of really copying what Pothole State did?
No, you're not. But listen, it's like, I look at HBCUs when it comes to football coaching like training day, right? And stay with me when I say this. You remember the part when the white boy walks in the door and Denzel's tossing money to everybody? You know what I'm saying? And they hey, Denzel's like, yo, let me quarterback this thing. You came through the door, da-da-da-da. And the white boy's like, yo, what is going on here, right? Everybody knows what it is. So when you bring somebody out of the network into the network, they're going to look around like, yo, what the hell is this? Like, why are you doing it this way? Why are you doing it? So there's a reason why you go get people in that have experienced HBCU. One, because I'll say it's two-sided to this, right? You have people like Tamika Reed who have been around HBCUs her whole life, and she understands the dynamic, the financial hardships and things like that. But then you go get somebody who is not in the know, and you get them in, and that's why people get offended, because all they want to do is criticize, right? Like, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Mm-hmm. So there's a bit of both ways. So to me, I look at it like this. The reason why I think Ed Reed should be a coach, and people can say, Scotty, nah, blah, blah, blah. If I'm going to go down in a ship, I would rather my ship be laced with gold than laminated wood. That's just me, right? Because if you're going to lose, I'd rather lose with resources and some new inflection of money than lose and be broke still. You get what I'm saying? Like,
hey, man. Hey. I would say it's okay to be a sugar daddy one time.
Come on,
just one time, just one time for your partner. But hey, here's another perspective. What if he wins?
Then what? What does he win? Now you look like Pothole State Part 2. You know what I'm saying? It gets epic. It becomes an epidemic, and now Southern's looking like the old '90s Southern. You know what I'm saying? And they just running the table, and now it's a new inflection of, man, listen, I'm on the Ed Reed bandwagon. Wherever Ed Reed decides to land, best believe I'm going to be there, because I want to see whatever school decides to roll with him and the resources that come with him, because he doesn't want to lose, right? Like, that's what you got to understand something about great players, right? No matter if they win or lose, or however, they don't want to lose. Right. And no, I'm not saying coaches want to lose. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they have an invested effort not to lose. Why? Because it's a brand. Like now you're messing up my brand. It's the same thing with Dion. Dion always says, what does Dion always say? I've always been a winner. So he can't go to Colorado and lose. That defeats the branding of Dion. Ed Reed is a winner.
Exactly.
Miami, a winner. Ravens, a winner. If he goes to Southern, he gonna want to be a winner.
But here's my question: I'm scattered with all of these positives here. My question is here: why are they afraid to give a shot to Ed Reed?
Perry White just said it. He said the higher ups at Southern can't handle Ed Reed's personality. Listen, I keep saying this: black people have an ego problem. Black people have an ego problem. When it comes to black people, somebody has to feel like they're in charge. Somebody got to feel like that, right? Why? The one thing about white people is like this: if it makes sense, they'll entertain it, right? To a certain extent, if it makes dollars and it makes sense, they'll entertain it, and then they'll control it in a certain way to monetize it or whatever. With black people, they got to feel like they're in control. Doesn't matter if you're making pennies or making dollars. They just have to feel like they're in control. So to me, if Southern, and this is the thing, if Southern's higher ups feel like, oh, we can't handle Ed Reed's personality, you just want to you want to win your way. That's the thing. You want to win your way. You want to win. Oh, let's go find another old HBCU friend of Pete Richardson and bring him in. No disrespect to Pete Richardson. He's a legend. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, who else can we find on the Pete Richardson tree? Right? Who else can we go get here? Who can we go control? That's pretty much what it is. Because Ed Reed don't give a damn about your $900,000 buyout. I'm good. I got money. I don't need your. Come on, man.
I'll tell you this: if that is the case, and Perry is probably spot on. No, most likely spot on. If that is the case, get used to losing. You don't deserve Ed Reed. You don't deserve any NFL legend to come at it at all, because your biggest prize is not the SWAC championship or the Celebration Bowl championship. It is control. So deal with it and keep losing, because that's what's going to happen. And as fans, if you want to see change, the consumer is the boss, because they need your dollars to make sure everything flows throughout the university as well as throughout the athletic division. Stop going to the games and buying the merchandise. I know it's hard. I know it's really difficult. But if you truly want change, start with your dollars. If it don't make dollars, it don't make no damn sense. So
None.
For me, I ended on this, man. Thanks for your time. I would just say, man, Ed need to come to HBCU somewhere, man. Somebody need to give him a shot. That's it.
I agree. Appreciate the call, Mr. Bugs. Let me see. Cal, I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna go to Smash again, and then Cal, I'm gonna come to you. What's up, Smash?
Hey, if you go back and watch the Ed Reed show while we're doing Cookman, I've been saying that when we passed on Ed Reed, that was stupid. Why? One, he went to Destrehan. Destrehan is probably the best 5A school in Louisiana, and he's won the state championship. Probably going back this year. Remember that school I told you I was doing the 7-on-7 day?
Yeah.
With all those 5 stuff. He has a damn monument at the school on the stadium. Like,
wow, he has a monument on the school.
Is a him and what's your boy name? The wide receiver from LSU, Cole boy, good, great.
Justin Jefferson or Odell Beckham.
He played for the damn the Vikings.
Justin Jefferson. Yeah, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, him and Justin Jefferson got 2 big ass monuments on the side of the stadium. Yeah,
wow.
Ed Reed is a legend in that era. Yes, and I've been saying it. Like I said, all that talent would have just followed him wherever he goes. Now peep this, okay. Ed Reed at Southern. Granted, we got practice facilities. We all that shit. Deion Gay Jackson. We don't need none of that. You've been at Southern. Imagine him with the resources we already have, with the resources that he'll bring. I'm not on for the celebrity coaches, but I wouldn't mind giving it a shot. Might as well. Who else gonna be up for hire after Dooley league?
Listen,
that wouldn't have a better resume than that.
I look at it like this, right? I look at it like this. It's just funny to me how you can get. It's just funny to me what people decide to give people second chances on. Like, people steal money from institutions, they get another job, right? People have inappropriate relationships, they get another chance. It's just funny to me as a black culture what we decide. This man said this is absolutely trash. There's holes in this. This shit is fucked up. That's what he said. That's pretty much what he said on his live. This shit is fucked up. That's how bad it is. And people was in outrage. But people at your institutions are stealing money, not doing right by the money, and then you want to act brand new. And now Ed Reed isn't professional. Like, this is crazy to me.
It is, and when Perry right about them high up. But one thing at Southern, bro, like, we ain't trying to be left stock. Like, if that shit had going on, that you would never see that as something, because one thing gonna either cover it up or we have new facilities the damn next day. I'm just saying, bro, the problems he had at Bethune, he wouldn't have that in Louisiana at our school at all. But I do think it'll be a good shot, and I think you'll see a celebrity coach the job done right if he was to come. Because one, we ain't trying to deal with none of the backlash that Jackson gave Dion. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't gonna try to create a part two of that situation. As well as now, Real Perry on that administration, I can't disagree with that because I know how shit work at Southern. That's just a downfall. I gotta agree. I understand they don't want nobody with a stronger gun than them. But if they could get past some egos and get him a shot, this next coach hire, if Dooley leave, whatever, however it goes, it's gonna be a good one.
Let me say this before let me say this before I let you go, Smash. This is my issue, right? If an all-white school can see the benefit of bringing in a Deion Sanders, if Deion Sanders didn't win a game at Colorado, they had already made all the money for his contract in the first year of him being there. If the fact that he's winning, Colorado is sitting back counting. They're literally, the white people in the higher ups at Colorado are kicking their feet up and saying, yo, why didn't we do this faster? Right? It's the same situation when it comes to Ed Reed. Ed Reed touches down at Southern University off the off season alone. Your merchandising, your sales prices, your ticketing is all supposed to go up. You're going to make more money than you would have ever thought in the whole first year of the Ed Reed year. It just doesn't make any sense to me that people cry about finances and then you have a legit way to infuse your alumni, infuse the community, infuse your bank account, and now you're saying, oh no, we don't like the way it looks. It just doesn't make sense to me. It really just doesn't. I don't understand it.
I think I don't for a school like he's alone.
Hey, I gotta let you go, Smash. My bad, your phone was breaking up. Cal, coming to you. Hey, what's up, Cal?
Yo, what up, man?
What's up?
Hey, I want to touch on something. Came another caller said about branding. Doesn't your branding hurt? This is off the Ed Reed. This is like, when you're playing these money games and you're getting beat by like 70, 50, 60 points. Doesn't it hurt your brain? Like, I'm a high school player, and I look up and I see said school getting beat by 70 points. Doesn't it hurt your brain?
Are you asking me or are you telling me?
No, I'm asking,
I mean, you weren't supposed to win that game anyway. So I don't get how it hurts your brand. You weren't supposed to win the game anyway. So what are you talking about? I don't get it.
What's the point? I know you're not supposed to win the game anyway, but it's kind of like, to me, it tarnishes your name, though. Even I know you're not supposed to win the game, but I think I wouldn't schedule that game. It hurts your image of the university of your football program. It's like, okay, if you're a high school player and someone said, hey, this school got beat by 70 points, by even though you're not supposed to win the game, but like let's say FAMU and Grambling, okay, let's put them the same because both of them got beat by both lost FBS programs. Even though one's a Power 5, one's not. Well, I could probably say Texas Southern Toledo. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, like, that was just straight ass whooping. I get what you're saying. Listen, you can't. Two things can be true. Yes, is it bad for your brand? I do believe it is. But then on the same token, HBCUs are saying, well, Scotty, we need the money to fund our athletic budget. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, right? I think FAMU and where they live at when it comes to FBS, I think it's perfect, right? South Florida, very winnable game. They were in the game most of the game, right? So it was competitive. So it looks. So I agree with you on that aspect. I think what A&M did with Vanderbilt wasn't a bad showing, right? It just depends on, you know what I'm saying, of what it looks like. If you're going to schedule those games, schedule games that are group of 5 and lower level stuff. I just, you know, that's what I'm a fan of. Group of 5 guys. Go beat a well, SMU's moving up now, but go beat a
like a Texas State,
Akron, Akron, a MAC team. You know, go beat a MAC team. Go beat, you know what I'm saying? Like Morgan was that close to beating a MAC team. You know what I'm saying? So, it just is what it is, man.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, but it just is what it is. But
I'm my AirPod died.
yeah. So, to me, it goes back to people saying about their funding. You know, going back to the funding and things like that. It just is what it is.
There's another point I got to make too. Now, we all agree the SWAC quarterback play has been kind of bad. That's obvious. This is more stubborn coaches, and this is my question. Why are the coaches are stubborn? Okay, if your quarterback is this bad, wouldn't you try to gear your offenses a little bit more to kind of protect your quarterback? I'm not saying run or straight up wing T, but I'm just saying kind of more protect them.
Listen,
more run oriented offense. Everybody wants to run the spread.
There's only stop. There's only so much you can protect a quarterback, because at some point in time he's going to have to make a throw. He's going to have to, like, unless you are just a triple option team, like that is your system and style, you're going to have to make a throw. And if you don't trust your guy, at some point in time, it's going to come available. Like you got to make a throw. Now, there's offensive coordinators that can make it work, but there's only so much you can protect your guy, because at some point in time, he's going to have to step out on that ledge and make a throw. And I'm going to need you to make a throw, because if you get behind the chains, if it's so many variables to the situation, right? Because if they load in the box and it's man on man loading the box, you know, they got 10 in the box, 9 in the box, 8 in the box, whatever you want to call it. And you go man on man and your guy can't make a throw. He can't make a throw. But you're right. The quarterback play has been atrocious. It's literally been Miles Crawley, I got to give credit to Trayzon. Trayzon's been good. Miles has been good. Musa's been, he's still recovering from eye surgery. You know what I'm saying? So it just hasn't been what people expect. Andrew he was doing good in the first half, and then he got eye surgery in the second half. So, you know, it just been bad all the way around.
Is that a problem with proper scouting or development of quarterbacks, or all the above?
I think it's
play calling. I mean,
listen. I think it's multiple variants when you're going. First of all, when you look for a quarterback, can he make the throws? Right. That's number one. Does he have the arm talent? Number two, put him on the board. I don't know how many coaches are actually putting quarterbacks on the board and understanding. Do they understand defenses? Do they understand how the game is done? 3, development of quarterbacks. How is that process? How are you teaching these guys? Because I've talked to Coach KJ Black, and he says he teaches a certain way and other people teach another way. So how are they being developed, right? Because at the end of the day, if I'm a quarterback like Miles Crawley, I'm choosing a Hugh Jackson over a Dooley. You haven't developed anybody. Who have you developed? I'm choosing a Willie Simmons over Eddie Robb. Who have you developed? Willie Simmons is a form, like, even if you want to choose Maynard, you got to give credit to Maynard's staff. He has 3 quarterbacks on staff. You have to respect that. Even if you don't like what you see, you have to respect it, because they've all played the quarterback position so they can understand. Now, them being on one page, I don't know what they're doing down there in A&M. But at the end of the day, they have played the quarterback position, right? So it's all about finding the right scheme and system that fit you and finding the person that can develop you. Anything else?
Okay. I got a couple more things. One, now Southern said they got that money to pay Dooley out, or Dookie, whatever you want to call him. Is he the first to go, or should they use that money to pay out Roman Banks?
Listen, he's
gonna miss the next time.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate the call, Cal. Listen, the person that needs to go first is Roman Banks. Roman Banks and Dooley need to be walking hand in hand to the unemployment line. That's what they really need to be doing. They need to be walking hand in me and you and me together. That is how I love supposed to. That's how they should be going to the unemployment line. Together. Okay? Together. Rocky, coming to you. Then I see UKP, and then I see 4674. What's up, Rock?
Hey, what's up, Scotty? You're doing a great job on the show today, man.
Appreciate it, man.
But here's the deal why you don't hire Ed Reed, while other institutions actually, when they hired Deion, thought it was a bad idea, is because when you make a public hire, a high-profile celebrity hire at coach, then you have to commit to being serious about football. When you are hiring your frat brother, your friend, and that relationship is a priority over their past performance, track record, or resume,
come on,
then you're not serious about football.
Come on. That's good. That's good, Rock. That's good.
So let's think about this. People always bring up this Jay Hopson deal. I don't know what that means. I just know he's a white man, so I'm assuming he didn't go to an HBCU. His daddy didn't go to an HBCU, and he didn't belong to a fraternity, a Divine Nine organization, right?
Yeah.
So that means he is from outside the network. Y'all will admit he had some success, and he didn't come from an HBCU background. So why does he have to be white to be brought in to assume that he could be successful as well? Why does a guy have to be part of the HBCU family to be looked at as, considered a viable candidate for a Southern job, Grambling job, Alabama State job? I just think when you hire a celebrity coach, man, what you're saying is, all right, now we serious about football. When we hire Ed Reed, now we serious about football. When we hire a guy that has a brand that's about winning, that's about commitment to excellence, when you hire a guy like that, then you got to be serious about football. And in your opinion, Scotty, and I'm going to hang up, how many of these programs really are serious about the football?
I think, listen, I'll say this. I agree with Rocky 90% of it. I agree about what 90% of Rocky says. I don't think that people don't care about football. I think people want to win the way they want to win, right? Or they want it to look the way they want it to look, right? Because I'm going to tell you this. If you hire an Ed Reed, all the dumb stuff that you be doing, it's going to get called to the carpet. It is very simple. And this is the reason why you continue to hire the people that you hire, right? Is because they need the check. You're not going to speak on the atrocities of the institution. You're not going to speak of the deficiencies of the institution. You won't speak out against anything that you see being done wrong because why? They pay your bills. But when you hire a celebrity, when you go hire a very high-profile coach, right? They don't have the same. The money doesn't move me. Yes, you got to pay me, but it's not going to stop what I'm going to say about said institution. It's just not. It's not. If Southern is messed up in something the way they do, they're good. That's why, listen, Pothole State fans had to close their ears every time Deion says something bad about their institution, or what they didn't do, or what they lacked, or what they wouldn't commit to, or what they wouldn't have, or what they didn't do. They closed their ears and closed their eyes and said, hey, whatever you want to say, Deion, is whatever you want to say. Right? Because they just took it. They just took it. Right? So at the end of the day, it all depends on how you want it to look. It all depends on how you want it to look. If you don't want it, if you don't want the accountability that comes with it, because let's be honest, All Ed Reed said, and you can say, and anybody can come in here and say, "Oh, Scotty, you wouldn't say that at your job, or you wouldn't do this." Or what. Well, when you don't care about the money, you can do whatever you want. But understand, yes, there are consequences. But when the money doesn't affect you, how many coaches at these institutes? How many times would Fred McNair want to come out to Alcorn and said, "Alcorn is effing up"? It's effing up the plans. Alcorn is not supporting me the way I want them to. Alcorn can't get their shit together. Alcorn's administration won't help me out. How many times do you think Fred McNair wanted to come out and say that? One, he wouldn't do that because he loves the institution, right? He loves the institution. He loves Alcorn. And two, they paying his bills. They paying that man's bills. KP, coming to you.
Wow, what up, boy? What's going on, baby?
Talk to me, KP. What's going on, man?
Man, chilling, man. Rocky take was a good take, man. I gotta roll with him on that one, baby, because I like what he was saying, man. I mean, I'd rather go outside of the HBC world and pick somebody off somebody else's tree first time, let him come in and let him get his feet wet over here instead of recycling the same people. You know, because you ain't growing as a program. You definitely ain't growing as an institution or a conference. We getting the same bozos in. I don't understand that cycle. Now, to go with the Ed Reed option, I mean, if he do his exposing and saying Southern this, Southern ain't got that. Southern fan base ain't like J-State. They gonna come back at him. It's gonna be, hey, you see what it is, you can get the fuck on. You can go about your business. You ain't gonna be putting all stuff out here all on the nation platform and exposing. So now you got a division between him and the fan base. So now what you do? You know?
Yeah.
We got some issues like everybody else around the HBCU world. We got it.
I'll say this.
What?
I'll say this, right? With a fan base like Southern, there are certain things that Ed Reed could say that's going to rub people the wrong way. Why? It's going to rub people the wrong way because, one, you're not going to talk about my institution like that. And my question is it facts? That's all I care about. That's all I care about. Like, if you're lying on the institution, that's something totally different, right? But if you're speaking facts to the scenario of what is going on at said institution, like, you got to eat that and move on, right? But then there's going to be a side of people that if Ed Reed is winning, they're going to ride the bandwagon. And listen, man, at the end of the day, all these schools need resources. And I just believe I'm going to hire the guy that comes with resources. Because if it doesn't work, I still got the resources.
Oh, absolutely. We both in this together. I'm going to win on my side, and Ed should win on his side. If I'm the AD, hey, look, we're going to put a media team around you. We're going to get these people, get these eyes on this institution. You're going to go out there and make some deals. We're going to get some sponsorships. We're going to win as an institution, and you're going to win as a coach, in my opinion. And if they do decide to go the Ed Reed route, that's a target, man. He got to come in and win tomorrow.
Absolutely.
You got this big Ed. Wait.
Absolutely, KP, but let me say this. But it's not like Southern hasn't been. You've been getting talent with Jason Rawlins and Dawson Odom. You've been getting talent with people with no name. So talent is not an issue at Southern University. Is that fair? You know what I'm saying? Is that fair? I mean, talent has never been a problem at Southern University because there's no reason that Perry and Smash can come in here and call and say, well, Scotty, we're still Southern. What does that mean? That means we're still a blue blood program. We still get the best of the best. So imagine adding a guy who elevates your profile. What does that look like talent-wise? But you don't care about that.
Good. I think, man, the people that's in these positions, I don't know if they Southernites. I don't know if they were a part of the Southern history back in the 90s. They may have come from other schools who were mediocre, who wasn't on the spotlight. So they bring that mentality over to Southern and think that's how Southern is ran. Because if you wasn't in Southern institution or in this world in the 90s and feel how the winning spirit was around the fan base, and you coming from a school that wasn't winning or was pretty much looking up to Southern, and you working for Southern now, you bringing that mentality over here and thinking that's how it's supposed to be ran. Nah, man, it's big standards. It's big shoes you got to fill up here, you know? That's just my take. And going on, touch on the Dooley situation, man, I was out there Saturday, bro, and I was like, bro, this is just some middle school X's and O's. Like it was no adjustments. It was no cat and mouse game. Even on Jackson State side, they were just horrible, just as Southern. I mean, no cat and mouse, no, man, let me just try to counter this. I was like, man, this is, what are we out here for? We just out here practicing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was not no real football game at all. And if anybody say it was, they lying. 100% fact. That is not no football game. That is not no collegiate level football game from both sides. We trash, they trash. So, to me, we both lost as fans at that game Saturday, in my opinion. So, that's all I had to say, man. If they're gonna get rid of Dooley, man, please. This is my thing. Let's just not go out and look at the resumes. Watch films on the candidates. Watch 3 or 4 of their games. See how they adjust the teams, X's and O's. Don't just look at the paper and see they got X, Y, and Z, or they was X. Man, watch film on these coaches. It's like you watch film on players and all that. Get you somebody they're gonna sit down. Okay, this coach, he's okay. He can do this. He can bring in some innovative plays. He could bring this type of player, these type of players and products on the field. Do a detailed research on your next candidate, you know? Because you bringing in another dude and he's doing the same goofy shit Dooley doing. We just throwing money down the paper. Man, you give me that little money. I can go out there and do some stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? But, man, good show. Enjoying the show. Do your thing, bro.
Hey, appreciate it, KB. Let me see where we're going. Here. 2783, coming to you.
You know what I'm saying? But, man, good show. Enjoying the show.
Hey, 2783, you live.
Let me see where we're going. Here. 2783, coming to you.
Yo, Scotty, how you doing?
Turn your background down for me.
Good show. Enjoying the show. Hey, 2783, you live.
Yo, Scotty.
What's goody? Talk to me. Turn your background down.
Yo, Scotty, how you doing?
I'm good. What's going on?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Talk to me.
Yeah, I was just calling in about the Ed Reed conversation.
Talk to me.
I wanted to know if you think Ed Reed is such a commodity, why, like Deion, no PWI has picked him up?
I mean, I can't tell you why. I mean, but he doesn't have a coaching resume. It wouldn't. No PWI would have picked up Deion with no coaching resume.
Okay.
I mean, that's
all I was just
fair.
saying. Like, I'm just saying, based off his antics.
No.
Do you think a PWI would pick him up?
No. If we're talking about, if we're going apples to apples, he doesn't have a high coaching resume as a head coach. He's been assistant at the Titans. He's been like a personnel director or a DB coach at UM, right? So he's had more experience. Yeah. You know, Deion's been coaching. If you want to talk about his coaching, he coached his son in high school and nothing like that. But Ed has more coaching experience but he has no head coaching experience, right? So I wouldn't expect the PWI to pick him up either. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case.
Okay. Another argument is that I'm in Tuscaloosa with Alabama, right? Alabama fans everywhere. I work with a lot of them. They talk about Deion, and I mean, just to be honest, white people, when they talk about Deion, they're like, he'll never be able to coach somewhere like Alabama, never be able to coach somewhere like Auburn because of his personality. So do you think, even being how marketable Deion is, I don't think Ed Reed would make it in that type of environment. I don't think they would hire him either. Because of how he presented himself.
What type of environment?
Like at a PWI. His only option would be a HBCU that's desperate enough to hire him, because no PWI is going to deal with that.
I agree to a certain
extent. And then you get to the point where, as a HBCU, you're saying we're so desperate, we're to the level that we will hire anything. Because we are at that point. It doesn't matter. We have no standard. And you got to have a standard.
That's not okay. This is my issue, right? Is that give me you know what? Let's keep it. I'm gonna give you a controlled environment. I won't go very hypothetical and all that type of stuff. I'm gonna give you a controlled environment, right? The controlled environment that I'm gonna give you is if you have let's take it. I'll take a coach let's take a coach in the HBCU realm, right? If you had Trey Oliver and Ed Reed going to, let's say if I'll give you a good example, Southern. If Southern University if they had a choice between Trey Oliver and Ed Reed, they'll choose Trey Oliver because of the success he had at NCCU, right? And the fact that he's an HBCU guy. If you lose with Trey Oliver, right? You just lose with Trey Oliver. There's nothing like, you get what I'm saying? Like there's no after effects of it. You hire Trey Oliver, there's no resurgence of income. There is no spotlight. There is no, it's just football. And it's respectable. I'm not saying I wouldn't even say it's a bad hire. It just is what it is. If you hire Ed Reed, the same schools that cry and bitch and moan about not getting this, not having that, not being able to do this, not being able to do that, you now have a resource that allows you to do more than what you would have done with Trey Oliver. Even if they both lose, you're going to win with Ed Reed just simply off of the notoriety and the resources. It just makes sense monetarily. If money is, listen, all I hear all the time about schools getting into these dumbass classics that don't pay them any money, it's about money, Scotty. We got to fill the budget, Scotty. We got to do something for the athletic budget. You don't have a standard for that. Where's the standard for that? Answer me that. Because you keep talking about, HBCUs, we don't have no standard if we just hire Ed Reed. Where's the standard of business? Because that's what keeps getting you in the hole that you in. You can talk about the underfunding. We already know that. You can talk about the politics and the underfunding. Where's the standard of business that needs to happen at these institutions that do better business? So don't give me one side of the factor like, Scotty, we can't just hire any old body as a head coach. But you'll go to any old classic. You'll let any old promoter take your money. You'll let any old thing happen. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't.
I understand. I definitely agree there. Why not have a home game if you're going to just give it to a classic that's not going to pay you?
Come on. You get what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? So it's just the simple fact of that. That's the thing for me when it comes to, the not hiring of Ed Reed or people saying because he's not professional. And I'm like, yo, there's more stuff going on at said institutions than more people can count. Like and listen, I'm going to just speak from what I've heard. With the band director situation from the guy funneling money from Southern, right? I've heard from some band people that he was the best band director ever because they always stayed funded. They was like, we never had to ask for this. We never had to ask for that. He always had money for it. Then you had other people on the side saying he was just flat out stealing money. You get it's always something. It's always just something. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen at PWIs. That's not the topic of conversation.
Yeah, of course, they have more to steal.
They have more to steal. So it doesn't affect them as much as, you know what I'm saying? They got more money to steal. And they don't miss the little $1 million they might get stolen or whatever. All I'm saying is that it's just funny to me when people want to pick and choose when they have a standard. That's just funny to me, right? Did Bethune-Cookman have a standard of living for their players? Did Bethune-Cookman have a standard for their athletes? You get what I'm saying? See, that's the stuff people don't want to talk about.
They definitely have problems.
You had problems before Ed Reed even checked in. The only reason that you getting mad at Ed Reed because he put your ass on blast and Ed Reed has a platform. You didn't have a standard for your own players.
I understand that, but I'm gonna also have to just push back a little bit. I feel like Ed Reed should have got in there first and presented what his expectation. And then if they didn't try to meet them, then put them on blast. But because you're an employee as well. So I don't disagree totally with what he did, but I do definitely disagree with how he did it. Because you got to get in the door first to see if your demands are met.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see how that looks out for Bethune-Cookman going down the pipeline, see what Little Bill can do, man. But, hey, man, I appreciate the call, bro.
I got you. All right, Scott.
All right, man. Man, these call lines is crazy. I see you, Rocky. 9193. I'm gonna come to you. 0265. I'm gonna come to you next, and then Rocky, you're next. Go ahead. 9193.
Man, Scott, it's a good conversation, man. I like what you're talking about and everything. It goes back to is the standard.
Thank you.
It's just, and I'm speaking from, and I'm an HBCU grad, and what I look at, man. It's just the expectations of what they want. They don't want to do business the correct way well. And it's just like, they're so used to doing bad business, they don't know how to do anything else. as far as their hiring practices, their standard operation procedures. And that's why we keep looking the same raggedy way year after year. And when I say we, alumni complain, well, we've been underfunded. We don't do this. How about take care of what you have? You can explore and build from what you have, and then look for other resources. Case in point, some of these classics outdated. We used to have one here in Columbia, Pure Metal Classic. Never made any money from that thing. Never. Versus you could have been a home and kept those receipts yourself and built your brand. But you'll go to these classics at Williams-Bright Stadium. Damn, it holds 80,000, and you're putting 23 in there.
Yeah.
It's just like your whole operation just never makes sense. And it's like you make one bad hire after one bad hire, and you wonder why they say this is not good football. It doesn't measure up. The standard is the standard. Even if Ed Reed puts you on blast, have a standard for your program. And it's like we don't want to accept the standard. We just want to say, oh, well, you should do this. No, the standard is the standard. Come in understanding what excellence is and what you're trying to strive for. And stop making excuses for all the stuff we've been doing in the past.
Absolutely. No, I agree. Listen, and people will say, Scotty, you didn't graduate from an HBCU alum. Listen, I look at it simply what you're talking about versus what you're showing me, right? You can tell me whatever, but what are you showing me? What is your actions put behind it? The fact of the matter is that, and listen, this is the argument that I hate. Oh, PWIs do it all the time. What does that have to do with you? That is like that. That's like when my mom used to tell me this when I'll be in class, right? And I'm like, Mom, they were talking too. They didn't get caught. Like right. They're not in the same situation as you. Stop comparing yourself to them. Well, PWIs do it all the time. SEC does it all the time. So what? They're not you. You're not them. So why are you even comparing? It doesn't make any sense to me. And anybody black on here knows they've heard that from their parent. So if Johnny jumps off a bridge, you gonna jump off it with? You get what I'm saying? That's the argument that I keep hearing. Oh, PWIs do it all the time. So? Yeah. So what?
Yeah. And we use those ideological comparisons all the time. Like you said, if you see that car coming in, I tell you not to go on the street, you're gonna go on the street anyway. Whether you do it over, man, that's stupid.
It's dumb.
It's just like it's just like we continue, and I hate to say it, and I know anybody from South Carolina State listen to this going, listen, man, we do the same dumb practices down in South Carolina State, man. We don't been doing it for years. And we've been getting away with it because Coach Pugh has been doing a lot with less. But it just is what it is, man. It's bad business all the way around. And until even it starts from the top, man.
Facts.
That even the president is going to have to want to see better. So it starts there. If the president and the AD doesn't want to see better, we're not going to get better.
I agree wholeheartedly, man. Thank you so much for the call. Hey, let me get to this real quick, and I'm going to get back to the call lines. Listen, film breakdown coming tomorrow, okay? I'm going to do a film breakdown of the Southern's offense against Jackson on Saturday. That film will be coming on Tuesday. Listen, I'm not going to give you a time, okay, because you know how I be. My stuff be like issues. I be on that CPT time, so I ain't going to do y'all like that. So I want y'all to be like, Scotty, you said 1, it's 3. I ain't see no video. Okay, I'm doing a film breakdown to show you I'm gonna show you the good and the bad, okay, and the ugly. So I'm gonna do a film breakdown. I got the all 22 tape, right? So it ain't gonna be no ESPN view. I'm gonna give you the overshot, the whole field view, all right, of what's going on, because I get tired of these different narratives getting thrown around that it's player execution, it's this, is that. No. It's a collaborative effort of just not things going well for Southern. But I don't think listen, is it player execution? Absolutely. There's I can show you some plays where Dooley dials up the right play. Gary Quarles runs right past the safety who he's supposed to block, and it's the most half-ass effort you will ever see in your life. And I'm like, how is he still on the field with that type of effort in the first quarter? It's the first quarter. So anyway, but film breakdown on the game, show you what it is. Be on tune for that. All right. Travis coming to you, then Rocky coming to you. AT, you live.
What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? Talk
What's
to me.
going on, bro? Good show so far. Now you guys talking in my lane when it comes to the administration. And there is no standard. Let me tell you why there ain't no standard. If you want a good coach or a good administrator, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to bring in a search firm or a talent firm to get you the best possible candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all the schools that's going to have coaches vacancies or having, how many of those schools said, hey, we're going to bring in a search firm to vet these candidates for the season to get the best pool of candidates? That's what it starts at. And then, like you said, if someone like Bethune-Cookman brings in Ed Reed, and Ed Reed, just because that coach put you on blast, you already know the school was like that.
Facts.
You hiding what needs to be worked on. And most of these schools know. No, check this out. I got one better for you. Out of all these HBCUs that had high enrollment this semester, how many of them had housing issues that you know about? Because I got the receipts. I sent them to you.
A lot.
And I know you got the text messages too. So how are you ready for high enrollment? You ain't got dorms to put kids in, or you ain't the dorms that you have now aren't clean or ready for the students that you want. So I do agree. It's just like the last caller. Not to pick on, SCSU. Where's the search firm at? You already know Coach P leaving. Who you gonna hire? What kind of talent you need? We need a person we need a big name hire at some of our schools if you're serious about athletics. And not only that, you need to start putting money into the facilities for all students. That's my take, man. And that's sad. Like, we already know what's going on. I've been saying this for the longest I've been calling into your show. If you want to know which school is serious, you know who they hire and how they hire and what they put money into.
That's good.
That's just point blank, period.
That's good, TJ.
So,
hey,
good
man.
show again, bro.
Hey, no problem, man. Appreciate the call. Rocky, you pretty long-winded, so I'm gonna go to 6842. Then I'm gonna come to you, Rocky. My bad, bro. Hey, calling you live.
Hey, what's going on, Scotty? I'm a fan of you guys, but one thing I just say, when you're dealing with the HBCU, they never really understand the process of getting kids in these programs. They use the money, they spend the money on dumb stuff. Like, FAMU, back in the day, they used to spend money and do stupid stuff with the AD, partying, using excessive money. Well, my main focus is if you get a coach in there, you have to make it sexy. You have to make it appealable for these kids that come there. I don't want to go to a place where I have nowhere for my kids to stay. Just like the Power Five, like you just said, the kids, that's what they do every year. They get all this money, they raise money, they get facilities, they get practice things, they get things in motion. And when you spending money on dumb stuff, I don't understand how you can make a program better. And we always talking about we want to be better like the Power Five, but look at North Carolina A&T. They got it out of their mess to do something better and be in a better situation. So I think that's what you have to start is, like everybody was saying, administration starts first, you utilize the money right, and then you make it sexy for these kids that want to come to these HBCUs, point blank.
I'll say this. This is my thing, right? All I ask for, I think a lot of alums, and I appreciate the call, man. I think a lot of alums just want transparency. Like that, to me, I think a lot of HBCUs would do a lot better with just an open transparency of what's going on, right? Yeah. Because a lot of people will say, these are public institutions, so you can do FOIA requests. You can do that. I've done FOIA requests to Mississippi Valley and never gotten a response. I've done a FOIA request to Central State and never gotten a response. Like, I've done that. And that is actually against the law for them not to respond. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, to me, I think a lot of this narrative of talk about what they spend money on or don't spend money on would be if they were more transparent and was open to alums, or whether maybe send out a newsletter, if they send out a PDF or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but I just think that schools need to be more transparent. I think that they're just more transparent. You will get a lot more. You will get criticism. You will get critiques, but you'll also get a lot of compassion because they're like, man, they trying. I see where the money's going. I see where this is going. I see, and that's what. And I think I think that was a great thing that Gaucher did when he was at FAMU. Is anytime you saw a big donation or a flock of money come in, you saw exactly where it was going to. It went to the resurfacing of the thing. It went to a new scoreboard. It went to this. So people were so FAMU people were so enlightened and invigorated. They were just so excited. They was like, yo, let's get more money to see more changes. That was the biggest thing I thought Gaucher did when he was at FAMU, was just open the books up to show people like, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that. We just changed this. We just did that. We just did. So it just makes it more exciting. You know what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of HBCUs just take that into consideration of how they're presenting it to their alums.
You're right about that. Thank you, sir.
Hey, no problem, man. Appreciate the call, bro.
Yep.
Rocky, coming to you, man. Hey, Rocky, let me tell you this.
Hey.
Hold on real quick before you go. The reason I be doing that is because I know when I get on the phone with you, I might have like 3 other callers and they'll just start dropping off like flies because you be talking.
Bad,
you know, no, I don't have a problem. I just want to give you a time.
Man, we good, Scotty.
Okay,
I understand. I call all the time, man. So I appreciate you giving other voices an opportunity to say something. So I just be having shit to say. So my bad. But no, what I was saying is, it's funny how all these people are bashing HBCUs now, and when Ed just wanted to clean office, y'all had so much to say. You know, y'all pull back all the carpet and lift up all the goddamn creases out the couch now. But when Ed did it, you know, it was a major problem. He was disrespecting Mary McLeod Bethune. He was disrespecting Frederick Douglass. Goddamn, he was disrespecting Harriet Tubman. He was just doing a disservice to all black people all over the world, man. I don't get it, bro. It's all right when y'all do it, but Ed can't do it.
Oh my goodness, that's too funny.
What's going on? But this is what I wanted to ask you, Scotty. And first off, I wanted to say this. I think one reason why they don't want to hire a guy like Ed, I'm just using Ed Reed as a name, because among football fans, this is what I'm saying. Among football fans, the Ed Reed name is much more prominent than the name of Southern University Jaguars among football fans. Right. And again, and with that dynamic being the case, Ed Reed becomes more of a face of the institution than possibly, other officials in the institution. Matter of fact, Ed Reed becomes the symbol of the institution the same way that a guy like Nick Saban is the symbol of the institution for Alabama.
That's good.
At that point.
That's good.
And do you want a guy like Ed Reed to be the symbol of your institution? That's another thought. But this is the thing that I've been trying to reconcile ever since Saturday night. Has there ever been a favorite son fall at the rate that Dooley has fallen at Southern? I can't think of it. Without committing a crime or harassing somebody or something like that, I've never seen a favorite son like Dooley fall so fast. It's literally been about 12 games, and they ready to run him off.
That's good.
And after begging for him and pleading for him, picketing for him, they ready to get rid of him, man. And y'all are literally turning y'all back on y'all own guy, man. Is that what being a Southernite is all about? Because this is the guy y'all wanted. This is the guy this is Pete Richardson's, favorite son. This is the guy who was going to come back and bring back Southern success back when they were successful in the 90s. And y'all only going to give him, 12 games? 12 games? 12 games. He hadn't even had a chance to put together a full cycle of recruits together, and y'all ready to run him out, man. Are y'all really committed to y'all guy? And what does it mean to be a Southernite if this is how y'all trying to doing y'all own people? It be your own people sometimes, Scotty. And And for them to run off Dooley the way they doing it, man, I'm not saying they wrong now, because they probably right. But the other part I wanted to say is, do you think he used up all his goodwill last year?
Oh, absolutely. His bank account was at zero, negative. Listen, Bank of America was charging him overdraft fees, okay? Because he had, after that season, all the leeway was gone, Rock. That Jake was gone, bro. And that's what I'm saying. If he would have made that decision with Bashawn McCray, he would have still had some money left in the bank to kind of withdraw from, still give him time, blah, 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 blah. He trying to find a quarterback, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? But when he rocked with Bashawn McCray the way he did, that boy came into this year with $1. Okay? $1. That's it.
And I was on Facebook, and in 1 week it goes from it's the player's fault to let's run off the coach. I don't think I've never seen that happen before in my life. In 1 week, it was player execution, and now it's we need a new coach, man. Funny how things change so fast, bro.
Hey, they do. Hey,
appreciate, absolutely funny.
Hey, appreciate the call, Rock.
All right, man. I'll be listening, Scott. You're doing a great job.
All right, man. Listen, I see you, Smash. I'm gonna get to you. My question is this, right? And I want to make this very clear. Who would you want as a head coach at Southern University? That is the question at this present time. Who would you want? Because you're asking, and I'm not saying Dooley's all world and nothing like that. I just want to know, outside of Ed Reed, who would you want? Because Barry White on here talking about, I don't want Ed Reed. You know who he want? He want Dawson Odom's back. He want Big O. We already know what that is. So I want to know who y'all want. Hey, Smash, coming to you.
I want Big O back too.
Lord have mercy.
Got it, man. No, I really want to go back, but I thought about this too. I don't know if you know, and the car coaches in New Orleans, Bryce Brown, and I don't know how y'all feel about giving high school coaches a whack at their first job, but dude got a whole documentary about all the talent in New Orleans that he's doing, back-to-back championships, 10 years straight. You know what I'm saying? We talk about recruitment. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna take a chance on somebody, I would take a chance and try to build something from the ground up and give a guy like that a shot with all of the plugs that he has. We were so big on giving Dooley he can recruit New Orleans. I mean, he can recruit Louisiana. I just want him to recruit the whole bottom of the state. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. I don't mind going on them. It may sound crazy, but if y'all know anything about high school Louisiana and the car Supreme, and he's doing a damn good job there. So that's the route I would go. If we're not gonna go Ed Reed, give a celebrity or somebody, a try. I think we should try something different to get somebody who has a proven track record of sending kids D1 and to all over Louisiana. That's the shot I would go offer them at least.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. You can't. This is the thing with Southern, right? How quickly are you looking for a turnaround? Because what happens is this, right? I just want to show you how this works in high school, and it might be a little different in New Orleans, but this is how I know it works around my way, right? When there's a prominent high school program, and parents want their kids to go to the best D1s, they force their way into the program. That is not the same situation at Southern University, right? No, if you feel your kid is that talented from Edna Carr, you're not going to want him to just go to Southern. You want him to go to LSU. You want him to go to, Alabama, some school. It's just not the same. At the spot he's in at Edna Carr, there's probably kids who move to the area just to play at that program.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is too, Scotty, you got to think about you're right about that. The kids won't go to bigger schools, but it's knowing the talent that the kids that can get into these bigger schools, or kids that that will follow you, or your partner coaches. His job becomes open, so somebody else gonna want that. So if I put in a recommendation for you to get this nice job, can you look out for me on talented kids that wouldn't be interested in coming to my program? The same thing with Coach Frank Wilson did at LSU. He still have a pipeline with all the coaches in Louisiana. He just telling them to come to LSU every year. Just an option, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, besides Ed Reed, I don't know who else out there. But I would say if we're going to try something different, I don't mind giving him a grace period or whatever to see what he could do, give a guy a shot. That's just my 2 cents, only because I don't know what other coaches out there, because I want either Ed Reed, Big O, or I would do this. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I think that's reasonable, but I don't know. Like, I would have to see the offense and what he runs, because I think when it comes to high school, one, the talent that you get is pretty impressive, but also the style of play that you have. So how he plays the game, I would have to see how he plays the game of football, how he coaches it up, because to see if it translates to other levels. But we're cool with that.
I feel all right, Doc.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man. It's funny to me, see, and I knew this was gonna come up. I'm seeing people talk about Marshall Faulk. I saw somebody said Mel Tucker. G.J. Adams said Marshall Faulk. Jay Bubba said, you know what I'm saying? And then Perry, I want to go back to what Perry said. He said, Prime is 1 in a billion. Eddie George is having the best success at Tennessee State. You know why Tennessee State is going to have a very long leash with Eddie George? Just guess. It starts with an R. It starts with the resources. I was told by somebody from Tennessee State that Eddie George was not on the hot seat because of the fundraising Eddie George does for Tennessee State is actually more than the AD does for the school. Resources. Say it with me. Resources. So, anyway, but it's funny to me. I'm seeing people say Mel Tucker, Marshall Faulk. Marshall Faulk had a sexual assault case put on him. Mel Tucker just got fired from Michigan State for sexual assault. So what's the standard? You're telling me the standard is the standard, right? But you'll be willing to take Mel Tucker, who just got fired for sexual harassment, but you won't take Ed Reed. Wow. 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 0187 coming to you.
What's up, Scott? This here out of Baton Rouge, man. I didn't even know you was on, dude. I'm at work.
What's up, man? Talk to me.
Nothing much. I was waiting on the night. But anyway, since I saw you, I was listening to your show, man. And I was listening to Rocket. Rocket did pretty good, but he started out good. Then he went out left field some got darn well. But I'm going to say this here, and I'm going to let this go. No, it ain't that we bashing HBCUs. Sometimes you just got to tell the hardcore, naked truth. It is what it is. So we can do it. We in the house. See, as long you ever seen family fight inside?
Yeah.
But ain't nobody coming from the outside gonna fight what's inside. That's what we do. So this is how that go down. It ain't got nothing to do with we just beating up everybody and all that stuff because we were mad at Ed Reed. It ain't got nothing to do with that. We in house. We can say what's going on in house. You ain't got the right to do that. Point blank, period. And now when it comes to coaching, I'm gonna leave that alone because I want to say some other stuff, but I'm gonna let that go. Now, Southern got so many famous alumni we could pick from. Lenny Williams, Aeneas Wiggins. I can go on and on and on that played in the NFL. Aeneas is a Hall of Famer cornerback. We could look at somebody like that. You got a Lenny Williams. Darnell Baker played with the Carolina Panthers. I can go on and on and on with football alumni that have a resume that could come up there and coach. It don't always have to. I understand everybody want to see an Ed Reed and stuff like that, but we got Hall of Famers ourselves that come from SU that could come up there and coach. So the list can be way bigger than an Ed Reed or somebody like of an Ed Reed. You got like I say, you got Baker who played with Carolina Panthers. You got Aeneas. He played with what Arizona Cardinals.
But that doesn't mean, hold on. Okay, listen. You're throwing names out, and that's all fine and dandy. I give you all that. Doesn't mean those guys want to coach. Doesn't mean those guys are good coaches, and doesn't mean those guys are going to come with high level resources. Listen. If you bring in Aeneas Williams, only people that's going to show up is people over 45. Okay, that's all you really doing. Yes, he's not. Listen. What people don't fail to realize is the way Deion Sanders connects with the younger community is what makes him special, right? Is that even at the age that he's at, he still resonates with younger people. Aeneas Williams doesn't resonate with anybody under 30. Stop playing, especially under 25.
Wait, Sam. What got it? How you know that? Where you seen him coach at?
Nobody's checking for Aeneas Williams, my boy. That is a Southern thing. That is a Southern thing, and people over the age of 45.
Okay, all right. Let me say it this way, and I ain't call you to argue. This is what I just wanted to bring up about other names. That's all I'm just saying.
Listen, you can bring it up, and I get it. But at the end of the day, you have to look at it in the prism of what it is, right? Let me say this. And let's keep it a buck. Let's say if Doug Williams, right? If Doug Williams decides to come back to Grambling, he's not going to attract kids under 25. He's just not. He's not relevant in that way anymore. His name doesn't ring bells in that way anymore. And it's not to say that's a bad thing. No, my God. Man, if you can't even recognize, how old are you?
I'm 52.
I know exactly. Because you're seeing Doug Williams. Yes, it has everything. It has everything to do with it. It has everything to do. No, because you're seeing him. No, okay. What am I missing?
This is what you missed. Okay. If here's what you're missing. If Doug Williams, this is the very first black quarterback that that won a Super Bowl, cannot connect with anybody of a younger age, I don't see how you say that, because that's history, dude. That can transcend down from generation to generation, dude. It ain't just about older folks. It's about having the younger people connect. So
he does it. That's why. Once again, listen, sir. Listen. Yes, it is. It is a fact. Nobody is checking for Doug Williams. Nobody under the age of 25 is going to go to Grambling. Oh, man, Doug Williams used to be the first black. It's not to diminish. Okay, if you get,
I'm not. We can disagree, Scott.
I'm not saying you're looking at it as a 52-year-old man who grew up with Doug Williams, and that resonates with you. I'm telling you, from a 30-year-old and down, if I walk to any of my friends, or if I walk to any of the high school kids, and they say, "Yeah, I know Doug Williams," but I don't. Some kids wouldn't even know Doug Williams.
Watch this. How old is Dion?
He's 56.
Okay, so. But they know Deion, but they wouldn't know Doug. Really?
Yes. Man. Are you comparing Doug Williams to Deion Sanders? Yo, take whatever meds you're taking. Stop it, because you're smoking crack. There's no possible way you're going to compare Doug Williams with Deion Sanders. Shut up. Are we comparing Doug Williams? Are we literally comparing Doug Williams to Deion Sanders? You're out of your cotton-picking friend of mine. You're out of your cotton-picking mind. Doug Williams does not ring bells in the younger community. That is a fact. The only place he rings bells at is when he goes back to them old NFL Hall of Famers and he steps his old ass on Grambling. That's the only time people care about, oh, my God, it's Doug Williams. Oh, my God. Doug Williams. Outside of that, okay, whoop-de-doo. Like more people who are Redskin fans care more about Doug Williams and the older fellas than anybody younger. I have Redskin fans. I'm from Maryland. I know Redskin fans. They talk about the Bama Campbell. They talk about RG3 and Campbell way more. I'm telling you. Oh, why am I even explaining to that old head? You know what he's talking about. 92-23. Jesus freaking Christ.
Got it?
What's up, man? Where you calling from?
Shit, it's Marquez calling from Tuskegee, man.
Talk to me, man.
I just want to say this, Scotty. I watch your show all the time, and we talked one time about you tried to get your cousin an interview, and they wouldn't even call it. They wouldn't even talk to him.
Wouldn't even talk to him.
So what I'm saying is, 23A in Georgia, every A in Alabama. The people who you all think want these jobs don't even want these jobs.
Oh, that's fair.
Nobody wants to be the coach of Southern. Who?
Hey, that's good.
My man just said, watch the films of the coaches. Well, if you're going to get a coach, he's going to be assistant. He's not going to have no film. Only thing you're going to be able to do is watch his group and see what they do. And that's not really going to tell you anything. That's not going to say if he can lead teams or lead men. That's not going to tell you anything. So the fact is, people don't even want these jobs. So Southern, have to get who they can give. If Ed Reed wouldn't have come, they better take him. Hell, if Maynard willing to come, they better get him.
They definitely ain't gonna take care.
But nobody wants these jobs. They ain't paying nothing. You can't bring no assistants with you because you can't pay them nothing. If their assistants got a wife, they finna get a divorce because 40,000 ain't gonna get it. Yeah, they can work at anywhere and make that coach high school and make 40. Make more than that, coach high school. And one more thing, I don't know why people think swag football is so good. Swag football isn't good. These two teams been beating the swag. Tuskegee own the swag. The only team that they ain't beat is Southern.
Hey, I ain't know
So I
that.
just wanted to say that about these jobs and stuff, man. I've been coaching a long time. I don't care who you are. If you don't know nobody, you're not going to get no job. Your resume is not going to get it. You have to know somebody.
That's fair. I do agree with you on that one. Hey, man, appreciate the call, Martez. Hey, listen. He ain't far off. Now, the head coach might be making this absorbent amount of money, but he ain't far off when he talking about them assistants. He is not far off. So miss me with that. 1066 coming to you. Hey, calling you live.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Talk to me.
Hey, so all right, so yeah, I'm hearing a couple of good points. The last caller said something that everybody needs to think about. It's the economic inconvenience of coaching. You don't have the money to pay these people. It's not the head coach that you need to worry about. It's your assistants. And your assistant coaches, the guys that you want, like you're talking about Aeneas Williams, Doug Williams, that was crazy. But no, you have good assistant coaches. That's why coach started cooking the books on him. And he couldn't pay those other guys that he had on his staff. I mean, you're offering a guy an opportunity.
Hey, man, your phone breaking up real bad. 4718 coming to you.
What's going on, Scotty?
What's up?
Man, I tell you, man, just looking at all this mess go on, you see, now with this buddy system going on with the hiring, a lot of people, they're going to miss out on chances to work at these, institutions because they're not connected with somebody at the higher up, the frats. This is what is killing, most of these institutions with these frat hires. You're hiring somebody that's not qualified for the job, but because you know him, he didn't, pass the burning sands or whatever, he gets a chance. It should be going for the best man for the job. Now, I will say this: if I noticed, white schools, they will give a younger guy an opportunity. Look at UIW. The assistant coach, he became the head coach at Texas State. This guy's like in his, young 30s, and he gets opportunity. But HBCUs, they're going to go with the guy that they know who's been around. They're going to recycle the same thing over and over and over again. It's a never-ending cycle. So where do we go from here?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it's more or less like, I think it's more or less like getting you gotta do it. You have to have a standard on like I'll say the hire with FAMU, right? The hiring with FAMU. The thing that what bothers me about HBCU hires is the lack of transparency, right? You can say whatever you want about PWIs because it's real funny when people want to compare themselves to PWIs. They do it. You know what else they do? They tell you half the time of the three candidates that's like, oh, these are the top candidates for the position. They'll at least tell you that. Yeah. HBCUs don't want to take accountability for that.
We didn't know who Valley's candidate was, remember?
Yeah, we didn't. He just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, they just went out and got the guy, he was an alumni or whatever. Yeah, they went out and got him from Delta State, but we didn't know who the candidates were. We barely knew who, Jackson State was because it was, automatically TC. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, these, coaches, they're still going to get opportunities because of who they know.
Yeah.
And that's going to force people that actually may want the job to build a resume, to build a career. That's going to force them away from even looking in that direction because, hey, why even take a chance if you're not going to get a fair shot at all?
Absolutely.
I think what HBCUs need to do is look towards a model of developing coaches. I'm seeing at HBCUs, they rather have more players of the game than to get the students that want to be, students of the game. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. Hey man, appreciate the phone call. Let me see something. I hope I can bring this up. Let me just say this. The one thing I can't stand, right? And this is for Shelby. That's not true. Actually, North Dakota State has one of the highest paid assistants in the game. Now, I'm not saying that they probably don't have a defensive analyst or whatever, but their OC and their DC, they both make over $90K. And I think their offensive coordinator makes over $100K, if I'm not mistaken. So you're lying. So shut the hell up. That bothers me. Like, Google is your friend, right? You can Google these OCs and DC salaries. I'm not talking about the running back coach. I'm not talking about the DB coach. I'm not talking about the quarterback coach or whatever, right? But at the same time, the top guys are making good money. 100K, I think one dude makes 115, another dude might make like 91K or whatever, and then it goes down from there. So, yeah, not too many assistants in the SWAC making over 100K. Just saying. So, but to each his own. My thing is this, right? The thing for me is this. I'm always going to be an advocate of I can't stand the picking and choosing of shit. That's the shit that bothers me when it comes to you HBCU alums, right? Y'all love to say PWIs do it all the time. PWIs do it all the time. SEC does it all the time. Why don't you take some of the good stuff that they do? Because you only focus on stuff that you're doing wrong and say, well, they're doing it too, right? Well, they also do have hiring firms. Why don't y'all do that? They also do let you know who are the top candidates for said position. They also do that as well. Why don't y'all do that? Like, I don't understand it to me. You only focus on, well, Scotty, you're talking bad about us in this way. They do that too. They were talking too. They were making pranks too. Like, I'm like, bro, like that, like, come on, man. Come on. Take it all. If you want to compare yourself to PWIs, take it all. Then you'll get on here talking about some, oh man, Scotty, we would take it if we had the money. I can't stand it. Just to jump in and get some of my damn nerves. 7565 coming to you. Hey, calling you live.
All right, man. It's the first time I called in, but let me say this. I don't have a college degree. So maybe we think differently. But seems as if we don't know how to generate money. I live in Houston. Houston has Beyonce grew up around the corner from TSU. Meg Thee Stallion graduated from TSU. Why we can't throw concerts and things like that to raise money? What's the problem?
That's fair.
Because we keep talking about money, but we can't come up with creative ways to make the money to make everything go.
I mean,
I don't get it.
But listen, when you're talking about concerts, okay. When you talk about concerts, you have.
Well, I mean, that's just an example.
No.
That's just an example.
No, but and I'm gonna throw it back to you because then, like, I get it. It's a great example, but then you're talking about promoting, event management. You're talking about a lot of factors. Who you're getting. Do you have the connections to get certain people in? Maybe using some of your alums who probably have those connections and things like that. So, because the thing that I've noticed about most HBCUs is that they don't want to touch a lot of that stuff. Right? When it comes to homecoming, yeah, but when they don't like to touch a lot of that stuff, that's why you see a lot of classics that don't have a lot of HBCUs involvement with the event management part because they don't want to touch it, right? So what you're seeing, and I know you probably don't know, I'm getting real deep into this, but like with A&M planning their own Magic City Classic, they're going to be touching a lot of aspects of the event that most institutions do not touch, right? So you got to add those variables into it of a school saying, you know what, we just don't want to deal with the event management part of everything. The venue, like some people say, the venue, security, the concessions, all that is just a lot of hassle. But I get your example, but I know people are going to judge you in the comments, so I'm going to give you the nice version of it. But go ahead.
Well, let me give you the nice version of this.
all these people are supposed to be smarter than everybody else. They graduated from college.
That's fair.
Let's come together and figure out how to make the money instead of saying, well, hey, we don't know how, we just broke. I mean, how many times we gonna hear we just broke? Let's figure out something. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying what it has to be, because I'm just looking at the numbers. I hate to bring this up that Colorado are doing. Jackson State could have did the same thing. Because if you think about it, if you add up 50,000 times $100, that could have paid everything. So if we don't, it's like we can't think. Do that? I mean, I don't have a degree, so it's kind of like I don't understand why we can't add and subtract.
Listen, man. Listen, I've said that. When I tell you I agree with you, I agree with you, okay? Listen, I would have raised them ticket prices so fast, it would have blew people's mind. That's what I would have done, right? If you couldn't afford it, then you ain't supposed to be there. That's just how I look at it.
This the thing. We can pay for everything else, but all of a sudden we can't pay $100. People paying more than that for the shoes they wore in the place.
I agree. I rock with you. I agree.
And you know they're getting brand new outfits every time they go to the stadium.
I agree again. Getting new hair.
So why are we struggling with the money? Then they say, oh, well, the governments, the states owe us money. So we don't have attorneys that can go and fight to get this money?
That I'm gonna have to kind of push back on you, because I'm not saying politics is what it is. It's politics. Okay. Politics is what it is. It's politics. That's a realm of just a cesspool of corruption. So there's just going to be, if it's not, if it's somebody coming up with a new law, if it's somebody coming up with redistricting, redlining, whatever, there's going to be a faction in a way that policies and procedures are going to not favor you. So that I'm going to have to push back on you on that. I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying that is not the easiest way. That is a time.
That's a time. I'm not saying anything about being easy. I'm saying it could be done. I didn't say it was easy, but I'm saying if we have,
go ahead.
We graduate lawyers. So you telling me that we can't put together a team to fix this problem or try to fix it? Does that make sense?
Listen, I'm not going to say it doesn't make sense, right?
Okay. I'm
not going to say that. I won't tell you that. I won't say it does not make sense. Is it? I just think it's a lot of. My always answer to those questions is it's a lot of variables to it. It's just a lot of variables to it. There's a lot of unknown factors involved when it comes to politics. But everything else you said, I'm 100% on board with you. Raising ticket prices, adding and subtraction. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. Because that stuff you control. You control that aspect. Politics is not something that schools can realistically control, because they are public institutions and they are dictated by the state. So those I'm gonna push back on you, but everything else, man, I appreciate the insight. Listen, man. Y'all can say whatever you want. The man was dropping bars. See, that's what black people like to do. When you don't like what he messed up. If he would have stayed away from the politics, there's nothing he would have said that was wrong. But since he went to the politics, everybody want to focus on that. Oh my God, get next caller, please. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. What about them ticket prices though? What about the merchandising? What about that? No, he don't know what he's talking about on that. Oh, okay, cool. We'll just skip over that. Joe, coming to you. What's up, Eno?
What's going on, Scott? I don't know, I'm kind of behind in the show, but I think it would be a perfect hire for Southern, and that's Quentin Morgan. He's a Louisiana guy. He's young, and he know people in Louisiana. I think that would have been a perfect hire for Morgan State. For Southern. Shit.
That you talking about?
That's all I got to say, man.
Okay, no problem, Joe. You talking about the one from Morgan? You talking about the one from Langston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely. He deserves an opportunity. He definitely deserves. He at least deserves an interview.
And he's from Louisiana, and he has some connections in Louisiana.
Okay, no problem. Appreciate the call, bro.
Say, man.
All right, he's on. 46-20. I think that's Wake. Wake coming to you.
What up, Scotty?
What's up, man?
Want to throw this a couple things at you. Not everybody that goes to college is smart.
Agreed.
They just know how to repeat shit and smile.
Agreed.
Using your brain comes in after you quit repeating and smiling once your ass graduate. So I put that out there. And I taught college. I taught students. A bunch of dumbasses come through there. Now, I will say this. You got to think about how long has this struggle chorus been going on by certain schools, because not all schools struggle financially in the same way. Look at how long Jackson State or whoever, how long they've been singing that struggle song. One thing I learned about some black people, I'm not putting the monolith on this blanket on this whole thing. Some people just love the struggle. They love to be in some shit.
Listen.
Some people don't even know how it looks to elevate.
Sometimes
they don't want to.
Listen, bro. You're preaching. And the reason I say that is because it's no different than people used to being in drama in a relationship. Right? Like you don't know, like you feel like your relationship's not good if it doesn't have that spice. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm usually in some drama. I'm usually, yelling at my spouse or blah, 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 blah. So you're like, my relationship is boring. I agree. Listen, I agree with you on that. You preaching. Go ahead. Go ahead. You preaching on that one.
Yeah, because some black folks thinking that if you ain't struggled to get where you are, you hadn't gone through anything. They on that bullshit.
Yeah.
Some things in life does come a little easy. Some things don't. Some things come talent. If you're talented in your area, it's a breeze. But it's a struggle factor. And then when most people, I know a lot of people who went to HBCU, I started at one, left. When they come with, I went to HBCU, there's a pride saying, I went to a black school and we made it through the struggle. I made it. There's a pride behind it because it was tough. That's the shit I get tired of. That's all I gotta say.
No problem.
We'll put that in the mix.
Oh man,
hey.
you trying to get these call lines to fire up. Y'all trying to get these call lines fired up. 9193-0290. I see you. 085 I see you as well. Hey, caller, you live.
Scotty, I had to call back. Two things. What your last caller said is correct. I'm an HBC graduate, and all they compare is we survived the struggle. They're more in love with we survived than we're not supposed to be surviving. We're supposed to be thriving. They're more in love with the struggle, and he's right. And going back to the caller before that, when he was saying we don't have the attorney, do we have the attorneys and all that? It's a complicated situation. Most of the HBCUs are located in the rural South, and those are deep red states. Case in point, most of those schools that are state funded, once you try to sue the state, there's a strong possibility that they're not going to release those funds. I.e., I think it's going to North Carolina. Even if they want to sue, they're not going to release the funds. Enforce published all these HBCUs that were so underfunded by hundreds of millions of dollars. The problem is the people who control that money, that federal money, is released to the states. The states, in return, then determines when they're going to release them funds and how they're going to release those funds. So you can sue them, you can win. But when your state is ran by Republicans who really don't give a damn if your school survives or not, they're in no intention in order, under any circumstances, willing to release money. And if they do, they're going to slow drip your ass.
That's good. And that's why I don't really talk about politics as much, because I know that's not my lane and I don't understand it. I appreciate the breakdown of what you're saying, because if anybody wants to know, I like the Barney version, right? Man is very well educated. So what he's saying is you have the federal level, you have the state level. Federal money gives $10 to the state. The state says, the federal tells us, hey, man, give this $10 to the HBCU school. The state gets that money and says, hey, we'll give $9 to USEF and we'll give $1 to the HBCUs. That's how it goes.
Right.
That's how it goes. Or we'll say, or they say, hey, we got $10, we'll give you a quarter every year. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, then you like, damn, like, can I just get my $10 up front? You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those situations.
Yeah, so when he was saying that, you know, we don't have the lawyers and you can sue and you probably win the suit, but you have to remember who runs the state. If your governor is Republican and your state legislative is all Republican, what's the likelihood that they're going to release a lawsuit they lost of $400 million to an HBCU?
That's good. That's good.
But that's what I had to call back and say, man.
No, I appreciate it, man. No, thank you. I appreciate it. That's what the call lines are for, man. Appreciate you, bro. Hey, that's what the call lines are for. You know what I'm saying? Clarification. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, listen, everybody. That's why I answer all the phone calls. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their perspective. That's what it's all about, is perspective. And with the listen, that's one thing I pride myself on this channel. Now, I have my opinion, and I might not like your opinion, but I'm going to give you, when I'm not cutting you off, and I try not to cut your Alabama's off. I apologize. If I do, I apologize. But I try not to cut your Alabama's off. But I just want to let you get your perspective off, because at the end of the day, we got too many brains on here. 495 people. I think out of 495 people on here, that we could come up with a consensus thought of what right and wrong could look like. You know what I'm saying? We all come from different backgrounds. We all come from different perspectives, and that's what it's all about. Perspectives. All right, 6171 caller, coming to you.
What's up, Scott? How you feeling, Wolf?
I'm feeling good, man. Talk to me. What's your name? Where you come from?
Man, I'm Chris, man, calling from Arkansas, man. Listen, bro, I'm sitting here listening to this while just getting out of a city council meeting. Man, here's my take on a lot of our HBCU. I'm an HBCU grad. I'm a Jackson State grad.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Man,
no, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
It's great. It's cool, man. There's a lot of people, man, throughout our HBCU, man, who doesn't, man, to be honest, man, black people just jealous of black people. A lot of our presidents, man, don't want to come together. I know sports and athletics, man, it's competition is competitive. But, man, what if school presidents, man, come together and actually, like, set aside my school is better than your school and actually stand up to what's really being done to us? And fight tooth and nail, work with our senators and congressmen, and actually press to issue together. When they see a strong front of presidents from HBCU stand together, things will work out, man. I've actually been in rooms where I've seen bank presidents who are black men stand up to white bank presidents and make a statement that, no, we refuse for this.
That's good.
And they have no choice but to bow when we learn and educate ourselves what's really going on and stop having opinions and start getting our facts, our ducks in a row, proof, documentation. Man, we can kill what's going on. Then money won't be a problem. What the problem is our pride, our jealousy, and our stupidity and our competitiveness with our brain. Man, you got a master's degree but still got a kindergarten mindset. That's stupid. You know, so we gotta stand strong, man, and really push, man. That's what I wanted to say.
Oh man, no, appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. And you know, no, even if you Jackson, you know, still that's a powerful call, my brother. That's a powerful call.
I got you, bro.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Hey, listen, he's going into listen. My new slogan for the channel is this, right? Because I know you Bama's be like, oh, let's get back on topic. Listen, my new slogan for Off Script, I got the shirt to back it up. It says, always on point, never on topic. Off Script, always on point, never on topic. All right. So that's just what Off Script is. And that's where I love to see where the show goes, because it's an evolution of thought. That's what it's all about. Right. But think about it in the sense of this. I love what he said, because if you remember how HBCUs came together and wanted to punish NCAT and Hampton and for them for jumping into white conferences, right? Oh, we need to stick together. Why would they do that? Why would they do this? Why would they do that? But then in the same token, you don't even work together to make your deals or whatever you do better. Think about that. Everybody wanted to come together and bash North Carolina A&T. Everybody wanted to come together and bash Hampton and Tennessee State for not going to an HBCU conference. but then you all subsequently won't even turn around and work together to the betterment of your own conference. Dr. Cavill said in one of the HBCU nightlies, he said the ADs and the chancellors don't even talk to each other. What sense does that make? You're a part of one of the only and few all-black HBCU conferences, and you all together don't even speak to each other? How dumb is that? You got chancellors and counselors at ACC talking about, hey man, we gotta fix this shit, man. We gotta come together. ESPN is dicking us right now. We gotta come together. Wow, no, listen. Yeah. Tell Kathy that you're gonna miss your son's birthday party because we need to talk. You got presidents in conferences coming together to make sure, one, they stay together, and two, they get what they gotta get. But we as black people, we as a black HBCU conference don't even reach out and communicate with each other on what we should be doing to get better. Or see, this is the shit I'm talking about, right? This is the shit that pisses me off. The stuff that pisses me off is this. Instead of everybody looking at Grambling like the black sheep of why they're working with HBCU League Plus, how about you have a conference call with the president of Grambling, who is in fact a lawyer, and say, hey, how is that working for you? How did this set up? How do you get that? Instead of FAMU being scared of Dr. McNugget and not understanding the landscape of media and reaching out to Grambling and saying, hey, how did y'all, what's going on? How y'all making this work? Because I'm getting this from Dr. McNugget, and I still see that you guys are in compliance. So how is this working? Right? Instead of UAPB's chancellor calling Grambling and say, hey man, listen, I see what you're doing down there. Hey, how can we get some of that? How do we get a part of that? How do we get in? That's the thing to me, right? And I'm not saying, I don't know if Grambling's president is saying, hell no, I'm not helping y'all Bama's out, right? I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is I know for a fact that no other how is there not a Zoom call? I just listen, man. I'm not the smart. I didn't graduate from college. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the colorful crayon. I'm not the sharpest tool. But to me, I believe in cooperative economics. I believe in cooperative economics. I understand that very well. Okay? I understand the barter system. I understand that very well. I might not understand business 101, business 203, business 405. I might not get all that, right, in the weeds of everything, but I understand cooperative economics. And for me, I'm looking at the landscape and saying, hey, Grambling has got this, and this. How can we be a part of that? How do I understand how this lay out? I don't give two shits about Dr. McNugget. When have you heard anything going on in these conferences has shit to do with the commissioner, unless he's effing up a deal? Big Ten, they mad because the commissioner effed up a deal. Pac-12 mad because the commissioner effed up a deal. But the ACC, they mad at the commissioner for effing up a deal. But what are they doing? What are the presidents and chancellors doing? They're coming together to add teams to the ACC to make their value go up. I'm gonna take this call and then I'm gonna finish my point and I'm gonna be out of here. 0851 coming to you.
How you doing, Scott? Johnny in Houston.
What's up, Johnny?
I say it again. You've been had. You've been hoodwinked. This is so clear. It's ridiculous. If can't see the forest for the trees was a person, it would be called Alcorn. You a school in the forest. won't even build a community. Now, if you hire a professor and pay him $150 a year at Alcorn, what do you get?
If you check any of the professor's social media page, you won't see a picture of no house because they're only gonna get out there is a double wide or single wide trailer. Ain't no community out there. They just built an apartment complex. But what if you making $100 a year? You don't want to be in an apartment. See, this is the impediment to hiring good coaching because you making somebody, you paying somebody something, but they can't spend the money where it's convenient to them. Now, I don't know of any other school out there that had 50,000 plus at their homecoming and still lost.
Yeah.
See, that's what McNair looking at. He's still holding them super L's, them 3 in a row to the same team in the Celebration Bowl. Well, I don't know if it's 3 in a row, but it's definitely a double peat once. But he 3 losses Celebration Bowl. He lost every big game. We had 3 million viewers on, the Nielsen rate with 3 million viewers for the MEAC SWAC Challenge Alcorn versus NC State. And yet and still, I get on an alumni call, and we talk. They spent 25 minutes talking about a fish fry, another 30 minutes talking about somebody didn't get their table back from last year. We got $1 million problems, and you talking about fish fry. Say fish fry again. Say it again. So, it's not that they don't have good ideas coming in. They don't want to listen to good ideas. Now, when you go to your CPA office or your doctor's office or your attorney's office and you sit in the office and you see a big blow-up black and white picture of a full stadium with an aerial photo at a university, the blow-up, a degree, you can't, 9 times out of 10, I can get none of that from HBCU because we don't do it. And they don't want to participate in it. I would pay $300 for a blow-up picture to put in my office of Alcorn campus. Expanded, blow it up with crowded, full. I would pay that. That's a $10,000, $15,000 fundraiser right there.
Yeah.
But we don't want to hear good ideas. 5 years ago, my business pointed out, we bought 368 acres of land across the street from Alcorn. Can't get a president to call me back about nothing. So, this is. I'm be calm now. I got receipts, but anyway, look here. It's a problem. It's not just with leadership, but it's a problem with dreams. It's a problem with ideas. It's a problem with opportunities. And Alcorn got an interim president right now. We don't know who they looking at for president. Don't nobody know any idea or no name.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, we gotta coach this. Look at a prime example. He used media every day and often. We can't even get a press release for Alcorn after any game. Now, if you want to, just step away from football or the sports in general, because I'm still pissed off with the fact that we got a baseball team and a fan can't even buy a ticket and sit behind the home run wall and catch a home run hit and put the ball in a case as memorabilia.
That's good.
What are we doing?
That's good.
What are we doing?
Yeah, that's good.
So the next part is we can go to Yale and Harvard and everywhere else and read a sociology report about what the status of the black community is when it comes to STD, AIDS, and everything else. But every black college got a sociology department, and now in the day of Amazon, where you can self-publish, what is your excuse now? You won't even put a YouTube video up for free that might make you some money if you do it often and consistent. And you won't even self-publish information of people that you call learned and experienced professors. You won't even develop a community around the school so Alcorn can have more than 2,000 students on campus. And you're the oldest HBCU land grant, and you got the lowest population. And you wonder why shit falling apart.
Hey, listen. You man, you need to go talk. You need to. Hey, listen. I appreciate the call. But this ain't the Alcorn. This ain't the that's G. All right, that's G. That is G. So get with G and have G put together a plan to get y'all together. Okay, that Jesus 0290. Hey, calling you live.
Hello.
Hello, you're live.
Yes. What I'd like to say is, these colleges in Mississippi, HBCUs, we have natural gas, oil, and timber on our lands, one of our colleges. We don't know which college it is. Money is there, but the states run it, and they appoint the president to be over the college. And that president is answerable to a board of education, our board that the governor appoints. If in Houston they've taken over Houston School District because of failing schools, that's the plan in Jackson. I hear it on the radio stations, talk radio. We're going to take over Jackson public schools, $95 million. Once you get rid of your public schools, you get rid of your HBCUs, we don't have anything. And we need to stop looking at our schools as being on par with them, but try to keep what you have. Because once they take it from you, you're not going to have it anymore. With affirmative action that has come into play, and these decisions we're going to start making about enrollments and things, that's going to affect us. Jackson's water system is messed up, but they have a volcano where they get all of their natural gas for the entire state, supplies CO2 for fracking all over the world. But that industry is affecting the city of Jackson's infrastructure. Jackson has money, but it is a Republican-led state. All that should have been found at that volcano is found in Yazoo, close to where a former governor lived, with only 1,000 people maybe. But the oil used to be there in 1930s and 40s.
Come on. Hold on. Are you saying there's a volcano in Jackson, Mississippi?
Yes, sir. It supplies natural gas. It supplies CO2 for fracking.
Really?
Jackson's system, they're trying to take over our system where we won't even have appointed judges. Voting by judges. The state wants to appoint the judge.
Wow.
This is politics. Jackson State has a stadium. Once they give it back to the state, it may just go back to Ole Miss. But go and build you a stadium, Jackson State. And this is the hokey dokey that the presidents have been putting in our ear, telling us if you don't have Deion, you don't have anybody. But Walter Payton made it. Jerry Rice made it. Brazil made it. And all the other people who had to come through. You better keep what you have and stop listening to what they're saying. But the game is, you don't know which one of these schools, maybe all of them have oil on it.
Wow.
That's why, and the big point is, the company that is drilling in Mississippi, in Jackson, that owns the $1 trillion oil well, a company in the Yazoo area. That's the same company in Colorado where now Deion is.
No!
I love Deion.
Really?
I love Deion. I love what he's doing. Deion should have been an NFL coach by now. He's that great, that good. The man is brilliant. But stop looking at what they're putting in your eyes to deceive you. The oil well company, Colorado, Dinsbury, isn't that where Deion is up in there where they paying him money? He deserves it.
Oh, wow. Okay, wow. Oh, man. Thank you so much for the call.
You mentioned something about oil wells in North Dakota somewhere. About a school in North Dakota that pays $90K to their coaches. Well, don't they have oil up there too?
Man, you trying to get me on a federal investigation. I gotta let you go. Boy, she trying to get me. Listen, I just looked this up. Listen, this lady, listen, this is one of them things you be on Netflix and they be having like, did you know, or like uncover, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just Googled this. And she says, discovery of oil at Tinsley Field in Yazoo County marked the beginning of commercial production of petroleum products in Mississippi. During its first 50 years, 220 million barrels of oil were produced. So she ain't lying. She ain't lying. Listen, you ain't about to get me out of no federal investigation. They try to find me and talk about who this lady, what was her number. No, I'm telling you, listen. listen, it's bad enough. Right? Right? It's bad enough that black people don't like me in Jackson. I don't need the whites coming for me as well. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that. I don't need them problems. I don't need them problems. And lady, you see what I'm saying? And it's sitting, black people sitting right on top of it, just like Wakanda. Something about this ain't something about, listen. Feel like there needs to be a 30 for 30. Feels like there needs to be a 30 for 30. And it ain't even sports. This is like, that don't make y'all think. That don't make y'all think. Man, I'm just saying, this is. I feel like, anybody remember that, like that, I mean, no homo. Y'all remember like that deep throat with the White House situation with Nixon? You know what I'm saying? When the person called in and all that type of stuff? Calling it black throat. I'm calling that call black throat. Okay? Black throat. That's some deep stuff. That's some deep stuff. Like, I didn't know there was a volcano underneath Jackson. I didn't know they got oil rigs and stuff in Jackson. That's black throat. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm just trying to say, y'all pause nothing, no homo, whatever. I'm just saying. Blackgate. Yeah, Blackgate. 4620 coming to you. What's up, Wake?
Hey, this guy's Wake again. I'm going to share a story with you real quick. And you can see how some of these schools operate. I worked for a national newspaper chain years ago. And what I would try to do is support whatever black newspaper was in the area. I knew about conflict of interest. If I did a certain thing at this big newspaper, I couldn't do the same thing for the black newspaper. I know that game. So I'm talking to the publisher of this black newspaper. Now I'm going to put this on the record. Do your research. Most black newspapers, most of them, I say 85, 90% are shit compared to the big boys. Now, I'm trying to help this black newspaper out. I'm talking to the publisher. I say, man, let me shoot some video because I'm doing graphics over here, so there's no conflict. So I'm sitting here and I'm talking to the publisher, and this dude actually said this. Man, I don't want to get you in no trouble.
Man, we over here talking about Blackgate, and you over here talking about publishing. We talking about Blackgate and oil and volcanoes, and you talking about some publishing. Move along, sir. Move along. 6171. Now I see you, Smash.
Scotty.
I'm here.
This is Chris again, bro. I'm finna show it to you, bro. I don't know how to tell you how to say it. I finna get that man off that line. Cause man, we ain't trying to hear nothing about no publishing and newspapers, man. We trying to be educated, bro. But listen, let me say it like this, bro. I'm gonna jump to this, Scotty, and this is I forgot to tell you this earlier. We're talking about presidents, right, bro, and how schools can expand in the HBCU level. There was a church in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm not gonna put the church out there because my father's great friends with the guy that's over there. They were willing to give so much money to Jackson State to help build a stadium, right? And I'm talking about the $4.6 million kind of deal because this church is an older church and they have people who actually have well-off money, you know. And do you not know the city of Jackson denied the charity? It was going to be a charity just to yield. They denied it, bro. I got receipts. I ain't just talking. I got receipts on this now. This is why I say this is kind of hypocritical to HBCU and the president. Well, not the woman that's there now, but you know, before then. It was said that they wanted to come up with a name of a charity that they discovered so it can be like Jackson State alums funded the money. Now, y'all ain't got to believe it, but I got the receipts.
Really?
I said it in the meeting. Yes, sir. I got said it in the meeting. So I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying we got to really investigate a lot of stuff that's going on. See, I know stuff. I keep my mouth closed. I try to be a man of God, and I really put nobody business out like that. But it's making me mad that we keep saying struggle when we're denying the help to elevate. That's the problem I got. When we are putting plans together, but we're denied because people want credit instead of just humble themselves to fellowship with the elevation. And we struggle because we choose to be dumbfounded. What the Bible say? We perish for the lack of knowledge. I'm going to add a scripture. We perish for being stupid. Point blank, period. We're getting the knowledge, man. We're just refusing to accept it. That's all, Scotty.
Oh,
that's all I got.
Appreciate you. Appreciate the call. Man, this is getting good. Man, this is like some undercover. I'm gonna have to just split this into like a whole half a video and call it like the undercover files of HBCU. Like I am on it. I know I gotta get off because I gotta make all my slides for Perry because Perry don't really do no work. He just show up. I do all the work. But you know what I'm saying? So I just gotta get ready for that show. But man, this is getting good. 9387 coming to you. Smash coming to you.
Hey, Scotty, man, that ain't what lying about that fucking volcano. I'm Googling it right now. I'm looking at it. Like, when you talk about natural minerals, this volcano is only 2,900 feet beneath the city of Jackson. That's not far at all.
Oh,
So
we know. Listen, we know New Orleans. New Orleans people know about below sea level. Y'all know the map.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute, because listen, besides that, like, you know how we Jackson State is one thing, but I always talk about the city of Jackson. That place is like trash. I'm talking about like, bro, like it's like almost they letting it go to waste just because. That's what it looks like. If you ever go around the city of Jackson, not Jackson State campus, but like the gas station right there by that damn churches and like all those abandoned little mom and pop shops, it's like they really don't give two shits to the colleges in the city. So like when you think about the politics of just HBCUs and like plants and stuff like this lady was talking about, that's facts, because what they're not speaking about is Southern is right down the street from a damn plant. The whole real Paris where our city at is none of the plants. So like when you talk about like they're trying to like, you know, just like weed these HBCUs out in that kind of way, that lady ain't lying, dog. She ain't lying. Now, that's happening in the city of Jackson. Like, yes, like your channel might not be working in the morning because she dropped some gems.
No, but the crazy thing is though, they're like they treat. I look at it like this, right? This is where God help me with this one. It feels you can kind of and I'm listen. All jokes aside, you know, Jackson, whatever, you know what I call him, but it reminds me of a situation. And Mr. Bugs is a developer, right? And what he would tell me is he'll find distressed properties and then he'll offer it up and stuff like that. Well, to me, what doesn't make sense to me is that why would you allow the stuff around the downtown of Jackson to be decrepit unless you're waiting for people to move out and then you buy it up and then you know what I'm saying? Then you push everybody out.
Yeah.
That's the only way. Yeah. That's the only way it makes sense, because you can't tell me that the city of Jackson isn't a walking moneymaker because of the damn football team. The football team, because if you can tell me that Dion can bring in, let's say, $40 million, right? If Dion can bring in $40 million with just his popularity, the winning of the team or whatever, that means there is something in Jackson's too. Because even if TC doesn't do what Dion did and he just wins, you know there's going to be a following. So you're at least going to get to about 10 to 15 million. You know what I'm saying? Of just.
Yes, and I always say that, bro. Like every time I go to Jackson, I'm like, ain't no way they got potholes on the interstate. That did not make sense to me. Like up in the street, cool. You know what I'm saying? But the interstate and Jackson band posted something like this the Southern the other day. There was like the location is the Mississippi River. We don't talk about it enough, but like the LSU and the state been one Southern. Southern sits on the mouth of the Mississippi River. Like that pretty view we have back there. Yeah. You know how much agriculture and research you could do on our campus alone? You know what I'm saying? So like that's a real topic that don't get talked about. I don't know how the hell we got on this about like the real stuff that we be talking about these HBCUs and why they trying to take them and the land that they sit on, but it's some real stuff, dog. So like you're in line, bro. There's a lot of questions that Jackson State as a school need to be asking, but at the same time, when you talk about politics and governors that put people in these places for sabotage, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my time. She speaks some real stuff. I ain't know about that volcano. That's deep right there.
Man, what you talking about, bro? You shit. I'm telling you, man, y'all might not see me on Tuesday or Wednesday. My J, I'm gonna be in a federal investigation messing with y'all, man. I'm be on witness protection. I appreciate the call, Smash. 3438 coming to you.
Hey, Scotty, this is Musa.
What's up, Musa? Talk to me.
All right, so I'm glad you said what you said, and when the light bulb went off, when you said it sounds like gentrification, that's exactly what it is. Like, I always used to think, like, how did these universities get their land grants and started? Because coming out of slavery to Reconstruction time, you know, we singled our money into banks. So used to always wonder that. But with Jackson specifically, why it's interesting, that is the capital city of Mississippi. So when I found out that it was in Jackson, Mississippi was the capital, I'm like, and I hate to bring his name up. I know they moved on. I'm just talking.
Yeah, we got you.
Somebody like Deion comes in, I'm like, that's a gold mine, because not only is that going to help the football team, it's also going to help other business. It's going to make it a spot. It's just like Colorado or anywhere like Nebraska. Nobody wants to go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama for no reason. But those teams and those sports, this is why I always try to stress, they like HBCU's purpose wasn't about sports. It's like, hell no. But sports is your money maker, it's your cash cow. So you use that to build sponsorships, to get attention, to get students to come, your enrollment goes up. So I've seen that play coming a mile away. I'm like, oh yeah, they're going to try to knock this off as soon as possible, because it's not only interrupting with the school, but they want control over Jackson. And I knew nothing about Jackson, but I was like, the fact that it's a mostly black town and it's the capital, they're not going to do anything to help Jackson thrive. That's why you see it in such distress. Now, what I'm not saying is the people shouldn't take initiative, and there shouldn't be outside black people that come in and restore it and then wait for white people.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, why don't people come into Jackson and buy, you know, like, okay, I know it sounds a lot easier than said and done, you know, so I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, I just got $1 million sitting in the bank, I can just come up and buy something. But you know, why not have, like, listen, and people from Jackson, please do not come at me when I say this. Zoe and them guys raised $50,000 for Jackson, right? Why could you not make a situation to raise $50,000 to $100,000 for a down payment on a building, and you know, or put it into a fund to maybe buy? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I can probably get with Mr. Bugs and ask some questions about what, you know, some things to do to vitalize the city, but. You know what I'm saying? Like that, to me, that just makes sense of just group economics of trying to buy back your city. You know what I'm saying? Like Rick Ross say, buy back the block. You know, there's a lot of big donors. There's a lot of big names from Jackson. Why can't they have some group economics and have Jackson be owners of property outside of, you know, just Jackson State? You know what I'm saying? That just makes sense to me. But, you know, hey, what do I know?
But the thing is, though, it gets tricky because when you're talking about through the school, they're still a state school, so it's like you get that blockage. I personally believe, and I don't even really like talking about you know, strategies and stuff on, you know, because people listen whether they admit it.
Well, I mean, you have a private, you can use it through your private foundation, right? So
I was about to say,
yeah,
it needs to be all private.
Yeah,
but it needs to be not just Jackson, because they don't really have a lot of. It's in distress. They're not, when you're not invested by the state, it has to be from the muscle. So it's going to take for outside investment, and you can't always tell people, oh, we want to do this. This is our plan. You just gotta
just do it. No, that's real. Right? I respect that. I respect that, Musa. That's real. You know, and to me, I mean, just you know, it's just tricky, man. It's just tricky because at the end of the day, man, I talked to Mr. Bugs and he just talks about joint ventures. Like he always brings that up. He's like, the easiest way for black people to get involved into something is joint venture. So to me, it's like, why not come together with group economics and figure something out to get what you can? See, the problem that bothers me is the excuses. I hate excuses, right? I hate excuses. All I care about is how can it be done? Because somebody's doing it. How can we get there? What do we need to get there? You know what I'm saying? So that to me is where it's at.
Can I ask you one question?
What's up?
A personal question. From your perspective. This is the only bug I have with people. It's not so much excuses, because there is a difference from venting and telling real problems and then make excuses like there's no possible way, because at some point you got to pick yourself up. But they do have legitimate stressors and things that have happened. But when you say stuff like, well, when people in general come at them, I'm kind of like, it's like pointing your hand at the homeless person and saying, help yourself. And you don't know their situation. So it's like, I'm not saying it's you. I'm just saying in general.
No, go ahead. You good.
It's like saying, get yourself up by the bootstraps. Well, this person don't have an ID. They may have had a fire. There's so many things that set back that they need assistance. And it's a special case. So with the investment part or with the dealing with the politics of it all, I do try to listen to some of the residents because they've been there and they know the history. Like people like Mr. Steven, I'm sorry, I'm calling him
Mr. Campbell. Mr. Campbell.
Yeah, Mr. Campbell. Yeah, and so they know the ins and outs, but sometimes it's good to have people like you because you're outside. You have a lot of ideas because you haven't been there. So I just think when we say things like, oh, well, nobody cares about it. And the funny is like, well, you do kind of need those things to get you to the next thing. And if it's constantly being blocked, then of course it's going to look bad. So it's like laughing at or making fun of the poor, like stop being poor. It's like, well, I'm trying, but there's blockage. So I don't like when people point, oh, HBCUs, everything's wrong. Like there's nothing wrong with it. I went to both with PWIs. It's just that they do things below sea level. So when we do see things like, oh, this fund is under a secret, some of that stuff is not illegal. That's just how business is done. You have to be conniving because, come on, let's just be real. White people be blocking shit. So you got to be, in this world, I told somebody, I said, you got to be a little bit of an animal living in America because this is not made for the weak. So I'm going to tie down.
No problem, Musa, man. I appreciate the insight, bro. Thank you so much for the call. All right, I'm taking Bridges and Joe, and I got to get up out of here because I got to get ready for the next show. All right, call you live. Okay. Bridges, you live.
Hello, Scotty.
What's up?
This is T'Challa Bridges coming from Wakanda. She has stolen our petroleum. All the black people, please, 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 stay in Jackson. We highly appreciate it. Go JSU. Wakanda forever.
Y'all be playing on my line too much. Let me see. All right, I'm about to get up out of here. I was hoping RB called back, but he hasn't. So let me just say this, man, before we get it. This is probably one of my favorite shows. Started with us talking about Eddie Robinson and Eric Dooley need to be fired, and then it just flowed into whatever it flows into. That's just how it works. All right, here on Off Script, like I said, always on point, never on topic. All right. So listen, tonight, 8 o'clock, Outspoken is back. You already know Perry done lost a couple bets, so we definitely gonna be expecting some highlights of the show. All right, so make sure you guys come back tonight, 8 o'clock. I'll be working through the wee hours to make sure I get all these slides done. And also, the video will be dropping tomorrow. All right, just be on the lookout. Film breakdown video dropping tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna try to get that out to you guys to make sure you guys can see what I'm talking about when I talk about Dooley's offense not being what it is or what it should be. All right. Hey, listen, let me just tell everybody who called in, man, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all's opinion. Even the old man who doesn't understand the difference between Dion and Doug Williams, definitely appreciate you for calling in. Even though how dumb that take was, I definitely appreciate you calling in. But guys, until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.